take a screenshot. Now, that is a fully recorded course. I did it for 550 people, recorded the whole thing. Now, write deal in the chat if you'd like a deal on that too. Maybe you wanted the content creation masterclass, or maybe you want this six-stage, seven-figure launch masterclass. It's already recorded. It's already done. I can send it straight away. Write deal in the comments if you'd like a deal. Someone's put right deal, as in they want a big deal. Put big if you want a big deal. Again, not here to sell you that, but just want to gauge the interest. Another deal, please. Yeah, I'll just keep bringing the deals. Okay. So, all right, we've got loads of you that are interested in that. So stay with me till the end. I'll see what I can do for you. I'll see what capacity we have. But my 6-stage, 7-figure launch online course it's one-off because it's been recorded. I won't do it again as a live course. I ran it for 550 delegates, as I said. How to launch a subscription platform. By the way, when I launched my first membership site in 2010, I got 1,200 members paying £30 a month. That was £36,000 a month on launch. Now, can everyone do that? No. I had some partners, I had a database, and I knew how to do marketing. But you can learn from me to do something similar. This is my 6-stage, 7-figure online launch course. If content is king, then launching and marketing is not just queen, it's goddess. You need systems to scale your business and your subscription revenue, and this 6-stage system will do that for you. It's not usually for sale, but if you're interested, write deal in the comments. I can see so many of you have written deal. People say, look, Rob, I don't have any followers. I don't know how to do marketing. I don't know how to get new subscribers. I hear this all the time. And this is why I'm making this offer here for you now. But we'll talk about that later. Okay, cool. Now, the final thing before I draw to a close, I've got 36 minutes left. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. Integrating subscription platforms into your life. So people say, I don't have time to do this. Sorry, you all have 24 hours in a day, just like I do. You do have time to do this. It's a question of, is it important enough for you to make $11,000 a month? That's the question. And answer it right now in the chat. Is it important enough for you to make $11,000 a month? Because if it is, then answer me this in the comments. Do you have 15 minutes a day? If you've said yes to either of those, then this is going to work for you. You only need 15 minutes a day. If you get 3 new subscribers a day, you're going to be making 11,000 in your first year, 22,000 a month, not a year, a month. You only need 15 to 30 minutes a week, including promoting your content and the content for your subscription site. So you actually only need to do 30 minutes a week on your membership site, 60 to 90 minutes a month on your masterclass, and then 15 minutes, however many days you want to do a week, on getting members in to your platform. And remember, I'll help you with the marketing. I'll help you with getting new members. I'll help you with the platform. I'll help you with all of that. And then once you build a community, you leverage them and you ask them for what ideas for content. And then you just do 1 or 2 Zooms or meetings a year. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So it's not about the hours that you have. It's about what you extract out of the hours. Now, I was asked by the Real Success team to offer something that would be the best for start and scale up entrepreneurs to create multiple streams of recurring income in these disruptive and difficult times in the world that we're in right now. And I was asked to make the very best deal, do the very best thing better than anywhere else you do. Bearing in mind, I've probably done between 150 and 200 million pounds, so $250 million in courses and information. And my one-to-one is 48,000 pounds. But I am bringing it for you right here, right now. But I just want a yes in the comments if you would like the best deal I've ever done anywhere ever for any program I've ever written. I've sold tens of thousands of programs to hundreds of thousands of people. But unless I get a load of yeses, I'm ending this now. And I'm giving the next speaker another 30 minutes. Okay, I can see loads and loads and loads of yeses. Now, I want to show Real Summits and Real Success that I can give the best value ever. And I also want to prove it to you. So I have my new 6-figure subscription secrets masterclass. This is actually only the third time we've ever run it. We've done a couple of trial pilots. Now it's all slick and proper, but I'm going to give you the trial pilot special Reels Summits price. Now I'm celebrating as well. So I'm celebrating my 12-year anniversary of launching my first subscription site, which made £36,000 a month on launch. I'm also celebrating, I was 43 just recently. I'm also celebrating the 15th anniversary of my company, Progressive. So I've got 3 anniversaries and I'm celebrating big with you with the brand new 6-figure subscription secrets masterclass. Now, write these dates down. It's really important. Friday to Sunday, May 6th to 8th. Write them down. Friday to Sunday, May 6th to 8th. If you're getting married on May the 6th to May the 8th, cancel the wedding. Go to the love of your life and say, I love you, but I've got to go and do this. We can get married another month, but this cannot wait. May 6th to 8th. Now, by the way, I don't usually do recordings. This will also be the last one that I'm involved in personally. I have an amazing team, Dylan, Denitra, I have Tom, I have James, I have Megan, I have techies, I have people to help build your platform, I have marketers, I have people who've got their own big subscription platforms. So I'm actually handing over to the course to them. This will be the last one that I'm involved in. Make sure you note that date down. I'm not planning any other dates. Now, by the way, live courses with me are minimum £2,000. And that's usually a day. And that's usually the best price. But I am going to do something so special for you because this is going to be an online Zoom mastermind. It's not going to be face-to-face. So anyone in the world can do it. It's going to actually be live 3 days online on a Zoom with me, much like this course is. I'm going to teach you how to set up, scale, and monetize your membership subscription so you can get your 11,000 a month as quick as possible. Even if you don't like selling, even if you don't like putting too much content out there, even if you're worried about doing lives, even if you haven't got any followers, it works. Every facet and asset required to build up a vast recurring income the best possible way. And you can start immediately. So you can get immediate mentoring with me. So I'm actually going to add you to a WhatsApp group and you're going to get immediate fast start mentoring with me. Now, my mentoring is £48,000 a year. So when I prorate that down, that's £5,000 worth of mentoring you're going to get from me to start right away. Why? Because I want you to start now. I don't want you to lose momentum. I want to do everything I can to help you. You need my help to start. Why? Because you'd have already done it otherwise. Like me saying, hey, have a membership site, get subscription income. You're not like, wow, I've never heard of that before. That's like Web.3 NFT metaverse. No, you know it, but you're not doing it yet. So you need my help. So you're going to learn which platform is best, and we're going to set you up on that platform. We're going to walk you through. You're actually going to set up your platform live with us, with my team. You're going to learn how to create great content, nail your niche, and in just 15 minutes a day, make one piece of content that's an asset that you can get 5, 10, 30, 40 pieces of content out of that you can gain new members from every day. You're going to learn the secrets I learned from the founder of Netflix. I became the Netflix for entrepreneurs. You're going to become the Netflix of your niche. I'm going to deep dive into the 6 Ps. I had to do them in 25 minutes. I'm going to do them in 8, 10 hours so that we can go really deep together and you can learn the practical, tactical nuances, the nuts and bolts, the final 5%. How to build lifelong recurring income, doing what you love and loving what you do. How to turn a $10 subscriber into a lifetime buyer. By the way, on Black Friday, I made about £140,000 from my Rob.team members. 60% of the Black Friday sales I did were from my Rob.team members. And I'm going to teach you step by step how to turn your subscriber into a lifetime buyer and buy all your other stuff as well. I'm going to teach you how to automate the subscription growth process. I'm going to teach you how to leverage low cost and free social media so you don't have to buy ads or spend loads of marketing money. You don't need any marketing budget at all, by the way. I'm going to teach you to grow your community and get them building your platforms and getting you new members for you. I'm going to teach you how to get collabs so you can grow your subscription through other people's platforms. I'm going to do live Q&A sessions. I have my chat on just like they do at Real Summits. I'm going to do live demonstrations of the pitches, remember. I'm also going to extract your niche out of you. Every single one of you is going to finish the course with a niche, with a platform, live, making money. Would you invest just 15 to 24 minutes a day for $10,950 a month? Give me a yes in the comments. Would you invest 15 to 24 minutes a day to get 11,000 a month or 22,000 a month? Well, then now you have a chance and a choice, because in a moment you are going to face a decision. Are you interested or committed? Do you want to make a bit of, I loosely want to make a bit of money, or do you want to make a fortune? Do you want to go part-time, full-time, or big time? Now, I Googled how many minutes do people spend a day on social media. Look at that. FMLWTAF. The average person spends 145 minutes a day on social media. And I'm asking for just 15 minutes of your time a day. Take that 145 minutes, borrow 15 minutes of it, and you can earn massive passive income. Now, by the way, those people spending 145 minutes a day on social media, they are not earning. They are consuming. You need to turn consuming into producing, consuming into earning. Oh, wow. We've got a lot of 100% full-time, big-time committed people on this Zoom. This is great. You wait till you see all the deal I've done for you. You're going to love it. So we've got a one-off live stream event. It's Friday to Sunday, the 6th to 8th of May. You're cancelling your wedding. You're celebrating with me 15-year anniversary of my company, 12-year anniversary of starting my subscription platform, and my 43rd birthday. And you're not going to pay the £2,000 a day that you'd normally pay to be on my live events. That's a typo, by the way, because that was from the last presentation. I don't have any more live events planned. We may do another, in case you can't make those dates. But I'm just telling you, this might be the last one you can do with me, and I don't have the dates planned. You're going to get immediate mentoring with me that's worth at least £5,000 when you prorate it. You're going to get lifetime access to the future courses, the future modules, etc. Thank you for all the kind comments, by the way, in the chat. Oh, you're also going to be able to bring a guest for free. So someone said it's their nan's birthday. Well, you can bring your nan along and celebrate. So actually, when you add up the mentoring with me, the lifetime access to the future modules, the immediate mentoring, the bring a partner, when you add all of that in, you're talking at least £12,000. And you times that by 2 if you bring a guest. Someone has said here, I love Rob Moore events. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your comments. Now, of course, I'm not going to charge you £11,995. You know that. But bear with me, and I'm going to do you a special deal. Right. Don't go there yet. In fact, let me move that back. You're not going yet. I'm not giving it to you yet. Right. First things first. Let me know in the comments if you want to go part-time, full-time, or big time. Let's have a look in the chat. Do you want to go part-time, full-time, or big time? Let's see. Okay, I can see lots of big times here. Lots of big times. Now, by the way, part-time is still good. But of course, big time is where the real money is. Now, it doesn't have to be big time in time, just have to be big time in income. All right. And I want to see everyone write deal in the chat. If you want the best deal I've ever done on any course, write deal in the chat. But if I don't get enough deals, I'm not doing it. I'm ending this 23 minutes early. I want to know if you really want this. Are you interested or are you committed? Okay, right, here we go. So there's loads of deals. There's loads of committed people. There's loads of big timers. So you're going to get a 3-day live stream masterclass with me, Friday to Sunday, 6th to 8th of May, my last one possibly ever. You're not going to pay $2,000 a day. You're going to get immediate mentoring with me for a good few months to get you over the line, to answer your questions so you don't feel alone. So this isn't another one of those courses that you don't act upon. Finally, you implement. You're going to get lifetime access to all future modules and courses. You can bring a guest for free. Right. I'm not going to tell you how much it is, but you are going to be wowed. I have never done a deal like this outside of my Real Summits events because I love Brian and the team and Lisa and Saj and Candice. Go right now to the link, realsummits.com/RM. Go there right now. realsummits.com /RM. Someone's put it in the chat. Turning what you already know into cash flow. Click that link and go and make the investment. Now, if you look at that and you're excited but nervous, that's the perfect emotion. I was excited but nervous when I flew a helicopter for the first time. I was excited but nervous on my wedding day. You should be excited and nervous. So go and join right now. Make sure you do what you have to do. Now, by the way, I usually charge 10 times that for my courses. I am reassuringly expensive. I am not the discount guy. That's not me. Mentoring with me is £48,000 plus that. You can't get a discount. But this is my special Real Summits only price. Why? One, because I want to do a special thing for Brian and the team because I love them. But also because I know there's people in countries where the exchange rate isn't good. I know there's people who are harder up because not everyone is in the UK or the US. So I want to do my bit. Look, I made my millions years ago. Do I want you to join? Of course I do. Will it change my life if you join or not? No. Could it change yours if you join? Yes, it does. And by the way, I'll give you a guarantee. Get this. If you do the 3 days and don't think it's worth 2 or 5 times what you pay, tell me at the end of the 3rd day, I'll give you the whole load of money back. I'll give you it all. It all. So there's zero risk. Now, here's the thing. The money you pay there, you only need 30 members and it's free. You only need 30 members and it's free. So when you look at it like that, you could get those members in 10 days. So go right now to the link, realsummits.com/RM. Grab me up on the deal. It looks like some people are buying already. I can see a yes in the comments. Let me know when you've joined. Go and do it now because I haven't got too much longer. And when I've finished, I'm going to ask Saj. Tasha's bought it. Tasha is in. Melissa is in. So I'm going to have to leave and take this deal down. Okay, right. So Rebecca is in as well. Well done. Congratulations, Tasha, Melissa, Rebecca. Pat Flynn, he has the smart passive income content. And he hosts content that he puts on YouTube and on podcast. He publicly posts what he earns, so you can find this. And he made $167,000 last month. He makes $2.1 million a year in recurring income from content. I can see Lindani is also in on the 6-figure subscription secrets masterclass. So there's the link. Go now. Can you afford to walk away with the potential of earning 2.1 million from your content? Okay, but it's not just Pat Flynn, by the way. If any of you have got any payment discussions, talk to the Real Summits team, message them privately. If you need to get a bank transfer or move money around, talk to the team. I can't deal with that. You need to talk to the team on that. SJ is in. Congratulations, SJ. So Joe Rogan has his podcast. I thought he sold it for 100 million. Do you know he sold it for 200 million? Not 100 million, 200 million to Spotify. Melissa B is in. Melissa B has joined. Go to the link, realsummits.com/RM. Once I'm gone, by the way, and this deal will be closed. And it's my pleasure. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for the kind comments. $200 million, not 100, $200 million sold to Spotify from his content. Now, you'll make nothing out of content you do not turn into subscription income. Kevin Clifton's a big celebrity in the UK. He's on Strictly Come Dancing like 7 years in a row. He's one of my clients. He's a great friend. And he wrote this to me. He said, look, Rob, having retired from Strictly, I didn't know if I would be credible enough or had enough content. I procrastinated for ages with imposter syndrome and overwhelm. Someone's just asked, what's the cost and where's the link sign up? The link, can you see at the bottom on the red bar? realsummits.com/RM. I wonder if the team could put it in the chat. realsummits.com/RM. That's the link, and it tells you the cost on the link there. Okay. So Kevin Clifton is a celebrity procrastinator for ages. And he said, finally, after Rob nagging me, my sister and I launched our Patreon subscription platform. Now we're making thousands of pounds a month in passive income from one live stream a week. I wish I'd listened to Rob sooner. I hope you'll be saying the same thing, that you're making thousands a month in passive income from your subscription site. But you can't if you don't join at realsummits.com/RM. All of these people on that Google search are YouTubers. They literally do videos and they make 54 million, 45 million, 38 million, 30 million, 28 million, blah, blah, blah. These are content creators. I'm telling you the same thing. I'm going to teach you to be a content creator. You're just going to earn it through your subscription platform. Yeah, that's it. It's realsummits.com/RM. So you're going to turn your content into cash flow like YouTubers. These are the highest OnlyFans earners. So Black China earns $250 million a year from content. Bella Thorne earns nearly 150 million a year. Cardi B earns 10 million a month. 7.69 million a month. 6.42 million a month, 4.49 million a month, 2.2 million a month. Now, are these people the top earners? Yeah. But I mean, $250 million from content. This is all just monthly subscriptions. All of them are monthly subscriptions. Every single one of them. All of these monthly subscriptions. It's all about monthly subscriptions, recurring income. So you can see there's the link, realsummits.com/RM. Someone asked for the price. Look at that. $297 only. Now, you would pay 10 times that if you came to the UK and bought my course. Okay, Victor is in. Laurie is in. Tanya is in. Melanese is scared but in. If you are excited and scared, that's the perfect emotion, because it means you're challenging yourself. It's new. Thank you, Gail, by the way. So I can see loads of people that are in there as well. I've never, ever done a live event for $297. I've never done a live event for $12.97. So this is the best deal I've ever done. Thank you. Pooja is in as well. So I'll just leave the link up there for a minute. Let me know in the chat when you're in. Let me know in the chat if you've got any questions, maybe about moving payments and money around, or if you'd like to ask me anything about the course. I'm looking in the chat right now. Some of you are asking for payment help or support, or you need a plan, or you need to move money. You're going to need to speak to the Real Summits team about that, because I don't deal with that. I don't know if they can help. Maybe they can, but just let them know that you're interested. Do not leave without letting them know. It's realsummits.com/RM. And look, I'm going to put my hands up and say, I swear this is the best deal that I have ever done selling a course like this. And I charge 5 and 10 and 20 times more for physical live events. There you go. And by the way, if you miss out now, I've got 13 minutes and 40 seconds left. You won't be able to get the deal. You won't be able to get the discount, etc. So you do need to do it now. I will tell the team when I'm gone, this is ended and over. Okay, but do you remember earlier I said I was going to do some deals? Well, I can actually make this better. Okay, so do you remember the content creation masterclass? The $795 course I said that I might be able to do you a deal on, turning your content into cash flow, your ideas into income, how to make every piece of content an asset. Do you remember that I said that if enough of you put the word deal in the chat, 2 ways to create multiple content assets from one single piece of content, how to set up your phone and your space and do multiple live streams, etc. I told you this, only 20 minutes ago. I had to repurpose one piece into 40. By the way, I can see loads of comments, loads of people interested. Make sure you chat to the team if you need help with the payment. Give me a yes in the comments if you're in. Well, get this. When you go right now and join at realsummits.com/RM, you're going to get that course completely for free, but you must be one of the first 43. Now, Judy is in, Agada is in, James Zeta is in. Anyone who's not in, all these guys are in. Don't miss out. Now, you're going to get the content creation full masterclass completely for free if you're one of the first 43. Now, if you already joined, you're in. And if you haven't yet joined, make sure you do it now really quickly, because I know that there are way more than 43 people. Last time I looked, there were 5 or more times. Ronald is in. Mitra is in. Everyone's getting in. Are you getting in? Okay, great. So we've got the 3-day masterclass live streamed on the 6th to the 8th of May. We've got the immediate mentoring with me. Tasha is in. We've got the lifetime access to all the future courses and resources and bonuses. And we've got the content creation masterclass. And I'm not asking for any more money for that. So you've got a heck of a lot here. And I'm celebrating my 3 anniversaries with you. Now, they say your network is your net worth. So I'm the guy with the crazy, you can see I always have these harnesses on my jacket. So to the left of me, John Lee, he has 10,000 members on jl.club. Give me a yes in the comments if you know who John Lee is. He has a membership site. It's $10 a month. He's got a $30 level as well. He has jl.club. He's got 10,000 members. To the right of me there, Ryan Pinnock, and to the right of me there, Ed JC Smith. They all have membership sites. They all do. Because your network equals your net worth. So if they do, why don't you? Claire is in. Claire is also scared and excited. Now, by the way, if you have to put this on credit or it takes you into your overdraft, I said I'm going to commit to helping you. I'll do the very best I can. If you come on the course and you don't think it's like 5 times the value, at the end of the course, just message me. I'll give you all your money back. I don't want your money unless it's going to work for you and we can win together, because I don't need the money. I want you to be happy. I want you to get great value. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Okay, so if you want, to have a net worth like myself and John Lee and all these people who've got, between us there, we've probably got 25,000 members. We've probably got 2 or 3 million subscribers. Okay, so the link's staying at the bottom there, realsummits.com/RM. Now, look, I need to level with you. At the start, I was pretty hard. I leveled with you and I told you how it was. A few people didn't like it and they left. Why? Because they probably haven't got the steel or the strength or the resilience, or they just can't handle the reality, or they're just trying to be too positive without, having a bit of realism. So I'm going to do it again. I'm sorry if this hits home, but it's real. If you don't have subscription income, then you're going to miss out on secure recurring income. You're going to miss out on protecting yourself against global disruption. You'll have to keep working and working and working and working. You're going to miss out again on another income opportunity, on another media platform, on another way to finally start and scale and make recurring income. And you'll never be able to do what you love and love what you do. And you'll have to work and do what you hate, and then hopefully occasionally have a bit of free time left if you don't have subscription and recurring income. So if you want secure recurring income, you want protect against global disruption and governments and taxation, and you don't want to have to keep working over and over, and you want to merge your passion and profession, and you want to finally go from interested to committed and from part-time to big time, the link is in the chat. It's realsummits.com/RM. Now, I ain't trying to sell it. I'm just trying to tell it. You need to know. I cannot leave without you having all the information. Do you remember I also said that I could do a deal on the 6-stage 7-figure launch online course? So I told you about a one-off Never Again online launch course I did for 550 people, if you remember that. How to launch a subscription platform, how I got 1,200 members on launch day. If content is king, then marketing is goddess. The systems to scale your subscription revenue and build those members, not 100% on autopilot, but automated as much as it could be, because people have a concern that they don't have followers. They have a concern they're not going to get members. Well, get this. If you go right now to realsummits.com/RM, if you haven't already, you're going to get the 6-stage 7-figure launch course, the $800 course, completely for free. If you've already joined, you've already got it. I can see there that Saraison is in, and it looks like Rona is in, and Melissa and Amber are in as well. Sorry, my screen's a bit blurred if I'm reading your names wrong. Yeah, you're going to get the Content Creation Masterclass if you're already signed up, and you're going to get the 6-stage 7-figure launch course, all free as long as you're one of the first 43. Why 43? Because I'm 43 years old and it's just my choice. I'm not giving my free content away to everyone. Okay. Right. Now, any of you need help with payments, remember, speak to the Real Summits team. You got the course, you got the mentoring, you got the second person free, you got the lifetime access, you got the Content Creation Masterclass, you got the 6-stage 7-figure launch masterclass. The value keeps going up and up and up and up, but the price stays the same. This deal is getting better than any deal I think I've ever done. My students say they work with me because they try to do content on their own and they struggled. They have really struggled with their confidence and they don't really like putting themselves out there. And I'm pretty good at that, and I help them with that. They tried other ways to make money and joined other courses, and it didn't work for them, and this finally did. They often get distracted and overwhelmed. They wanted accountability, and I gave it to them. And they want to maximize their time, and they only want to work 15 or 30 minutes a day. And yet they want to create multiple streams of recurring income. Randomly, I do love Lego. I collect Lego. I invest in Lego. Anyone who wants any help with payments, there's the link there in the chat. The help desk is help@realsuccess.net. If you want a payment plan, you need to move money around, you want to hold the discount until you can move a card or bank transfer or whatever, just go to help@realsuccess.net. Do it now, because I've got 5 minutes and 26 seconds left. Holy shit, I don't know if I'm going to finish it all in time. There's an invoice that Facebook, basically a payment remittance. You can see there I earn many thousands a month, tens of thousands a month just from my Facebook Lives, my content into cash flow. Look at that at the bottom. My screen is blurred, but you can see there I earn tens of thousands a month from Facebook, tens of thousands a month from Rob.team, tens of thousands a month from my lives, tens of thousands a month from YouTube. And you can too, but only if you get a subscription form, you learn to create content. By the way, now that you get the Content Creation Masterclass completely for free, you will learn with me how to build your Rob.team platform. And then with the ways I teach you to create content on the Content Creation Masterclass, you'll also learn how to monetize all your social media as well. So it's a double whammy, 2 for the price of 1. Someone has said, can you make a payment for Rob Moore? Don't pay me directly. Go to Real Success. And if you need any help, help@realsuccess.net. I'm going to keep the link at the bottom. You can see there a list of my monthly income just from my subscription platform. It was quite high. It dropped a bit when I didn't focus on it. And it started going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And now it's tens of thousands a month. I've got 7% left on my battery. I've got to get out of here. Oh, wait a minute. I've got a charger right here. All right. You can see there's just more payment proof. So you can see there, I received a payment of, what's that, 16,000. I get lots of these every month coming into my bank, and you can too. I've got more for you, by the way, as if, like, is anyone still on the fence? If there's anyone left on the fence, I want to say this to you. When you sit on the fence, it hurts your bum. You have to get off the fence. So, email help@realsuccess.net if you need payment help. But I want to get you off the fence. So this is my last opportunity, my last try. I've got 3 minutes and 10 seconds to get you off the fence. Here's what I'm going to do. In addition to the Content Creation Masterclass I'm giving you for free, in addition to the 6-stage 7-figure launch course, I'm going to give you completely for free. I'm going to give you a course, a 1-day course on 10xing your social media following. I went from 500,000 to 1.2 million followers on social media in 9 months. And I'm going to teach you how I did it in a 1-day course. So people say to me, yeah, but Rob, I don't have many social media followers. Well, I'm going to give you this course completely for free so that there's no objection of getting new members. There's no objection of coming up with content. There's no objection of not knowing how to launch. There's no objection of not knowing how to get social media followers. because I'm going to give you my 10x your following social media course. Now, because these are all online recorded courses, I can give them to you. If these were live courses, you'd be paying $2,000 each. I'm also going to do that live pitch demo masterclass. So I will do pitch after pitch on your niche. You'll tell me your niche in the chat, and I will do a scripted pitch. You'll tell me your niche, I'll do a scripted pitch. I'll tell you my 8 different steps of my scripted pitch, and I will script your pitch for you on a live demo masterclass. Look, the only thing left I could give you is my Lamborghini and my wife. That's literally all I've got left to give. But I want to say thank you as well. I'm getting lots of thank yous in the comments. Michaela is in. We've got people joining in now. You see, get off the fence. All right, great. I've got 1 minute and 35 seconds left. So you're going to get the content creation masterclass completely for free if you're one of the first 43. The 10x your social media following masterclass. Okay, Agada's just joined in as well. The 6-stage 7-figure launch master. These are legitimate courses. I'm basically giving you like 5 courses, not 1 course. And my live pitch demo course. You're getting all of this and lifetime access to all the online material. Now, what if it were free? What if it were more than free? Would you do it if it were free and if it were more than free? Well, get this. I'm going to show you how. Join the 6-figure subscription secrets masterclass in the next 48 seconds. Do it now, link below. Build up just 30 members before the course or from the course. You only need 30 members. That is 1 a day for 30 days. That's 3 a day for 10 days. And then the course is completely for free. But get this, every month you get the money over and over and over and over again. So use the investment in the course as accountability to get your first 30 members. That's all you need to do. And not only is the course free, but you're going to get it every single month, that money coming in 10 days. And the course is free, but it gets even better. Get this. Refer me just 1 person and I'll give you all your course fees back. I've got 4 seconds. Refer me just 1 person and I'll give you all your course fees back. I'll even do the selling for you. That's all I got. You've had everything. You can't have my Lamborghini. I paid $350,000 for that. You can't have my wife. I've been with her for 15 years. But there you go. Look, I just wanted to make it a really easy decision for you. I've still got people joining now. So Norman's just joined. Das has just joined. Okay, how do you refer the people to me? Once you've joined, you'll gain access to a pre-course material, and I'll give you the instructions on how you refer people to us. And like I said, we'll do the selling for you. We'll let you know if you're one of the first 43, because we'll contact you when I've seen the order of people. Now, look, Shah Osman, she said this to me. In 2021, I was hacked and I had my Instagram and my Facebook deleted. I was making 7 figures a year from social media and I lost it all. And I was very scared. But thankfully, with Rob's help, I have a £97 a month Shah Club and the recurring income kept me going. I love you, Rob. So let me just go back to the final slide. I'm all done. I'm not so good on this. Click on your phone. Saj, Candice, Brian, Lisa, the world. I'm done.
Oh, goodness, Rob. That was incredible as always. I'm looking in the chat and I'm seeing so many people are saying they're afraid, they're scared, they've done it, but they're really nervous. What kind of mindset should people have once they've invested in the course to get the most benefit out of it?
Okay, well, I would say if you don't risk anything, you risk everything. So I was scared when I learned to fly the helicopter and I flew in the helicopter on my own for the first time. I was scared when I rode a motorbike for the first time. I was scared when I took the stabilizers off my bicycle when I was 4 years old. So people think that fear is bad. A small dose of fear mixed with some excitement. And this is the important bit, Candice. You've got fear, excitement, mental. Fear, excitement, mental. So I would say the mindset is to take that fear, because fear and excitement, Candice, are very close emotions. They're almost the same. Take that fear and turn it into action by investing in the course if you haven't already, of course, and then allow us to guide you. So if you're scared and you have no guide, that's a problem. Luke Skywalker had Yoda. Oprah had Maya Angelou. You guys, you get Rob Moore.
I love it, Rob. I've actually signed up to this program before, so I've used that. I know it's incredible. And Rob, so people are still like, oh, I'm a little bit on the fence here. And as you said, you need to get off the fence. But for that one person out there who's about to click, but they just like, I don't know. I just don't know yet. What do you have to say to them?
Well, I believe that most of us would prefer to regret things we tried than things we didn't. We've all had the one that got away, the business we didn't start, the person we didn't approach in a bar. We've all had the one that got away in different areas of our lives. So I would rather regret trying something than doing nothing. And people think that safety is security. I'm afraid it's not. Safety is the opposite of security. You play safe, you don't win. So what creates security is taking risks. And this is a paradox that most people don't understand. Now, someone has said in the chat, Candice, if I'm not in the first 43, can I get a refund? Well, I'll tell you what, that person who said, I will make sure you're in the 43. And if you're number 44, I'm going to add one in. Why? Because you took the courage to ask the question. And I reward people who speak up, who stand up. So just because that person asked the question, I'm now guaranteeing that person gets a place on the Content Creation Masterclass and the 7-Figure Subscription Secrets Masterclass, even if they were number 44. I believe life rewards a trier. It rewards someone who puts themselves out there, who makes themselves a bit vulnerable. So I don't know if that answers the question for everyone, Candice, but that's my answer.
I love it, Rob. Someone said, I'm on the fence, but I love it. Rob, someone actually just said they feel like they might be too old for your course. I don't know what too old means, but is there such a thing?
Well, actually, I would say that some people are, for example, Candice, they say, oh, well, you're never too old to start. Well, actually, you're too old to be a professional football player at 66. So you actually are too old to start some things, but you are not too old to start an internet business. In fact, the best business to start if you are old is an internet business. Now, old people can learn the internet because young people can learn the internet. You don't need any physical labor to build a subscription platform. And I would actually say for people who feel like they've failed in businesses or they're getting older, I would say this is actually the right kind of business for you. Now, I am a non-techie. You know this, Candice. You've done loads of events with me where I've messed the slides up or the screen share up or whatever. I'm not techie at all. Like, I don't even change phones. I'll prove it. Look at this phone. I don't know if you can see. Look how smashed that is. Do you know why I don't change? There you go. Look, I don't change phones because transferring the data from this phone to my new one is scary. Now look, I've even got the new phone there. I've got the iPhone 13. I've had it for 6 months. And people just say, oh, but you just put them next to each other and the data transfers over. Not for Rob Moore. Not for Rob Moore. So if I can build subscription revenue and monetize social media and automate all of this, then someone who's 76 can too.
Oh, I love that, Rob. And I can't believe you're not transferring your data. Your new phone's amazing, just FYI. I hope you're using it. 2 phones, the Rob Moore way. I love that. And so, Rob, why are you deciding to throw in so many different packages, because to me, every single thing in this one thing that you're selling is so valuable. Why are you doing it all in one?
There's a few reasons, actually, Candice. Number one is you'll remember the conversations. You want me to bring the very best offer for your community, and I commit to that. And I hopefully feel that this is an over-deliver. The next thing is, what a lot of courses, you do them and you learn something valuable, but then you realize, oh, I actually need this and this and this as well. So if I did a course, Candice, to help you set up your membership site, you'd then go, but, oh, I need to get members, and, oh, I need to create content. So what I've done is courses, by the way, if they were live, I couldn't throw them in because they're too expensive. But because they are recorded courses or they're live streamed, the courses I've added fill in the missing gaps. So creating content, setting up the platform, and then getting the new members. So that's the second reason why I've added them in. The third reason is just because I can. I don't want to sound cocky, but I made my money. I've done my thing and I can. Do you know what I did today, Candice? And like people, you should, if you'd have been there, you should have seen it. Like people were gobsmacked. They'd never seen a human being do this. But it's Mother's Day tomorrow. And I walked into town and there was this beautiful street florist where, these working class, honorable people had set up a stall and there was just loads of bunches of flowers. So I grabbed a few of them and I went and I paid and I took one bunch and I gave him a load of money. I said, one, keep the change, and two, give these bunches to the people in the queue. And I just walked home. And people were like, and I did it because it made me feel good. And I can. And I'm actually getting goosebumps saying it to you now. And it's only £6. It's only £6 a bunch. But that's another reason why I add all these courses in, because I can and it makes me feel good.
Oh, that story gave me the goosebumps. That is so amazing, Rob. I love that. And I can testify that you always want to give more than you get. And I love that about you. You're also a very busy man, Rob. You're also a very busy man. So how do you make time for all of the stuff that you do? Because you're also interviewing billionaires and millionaires and traveling and running a property empire and doing your podcast. Like, how do you manage to do all of this?
Well, honestly, if this were going to take 2 hours a day, I couldn't. I wouldn't have the time. I mean, I'm trying to raise 2 kids. I'm trying to be a half-decent husband. I'm trying to maintain all my supercars, first world problems. I'm trying to run, 5 companies? Yeah, I do. I never turn a talk down for real summits. But because this only takes 15 to 30 minutes a day, anyone can do this. Because you create your 12 to 15 minutes of content on your phone, and then you work in your 2 to 3 minute pitch, which I'm going to demo everyone on how to do it. And you only need 15 to 30 minutes a day. So even if you're really busy, you can do this. In fact, if you're really busy, maybe this is the only business you can do.
Oh, love it, Rob. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. It is realsummits.com/RM. realsummits.com/RM. Rob Moore, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, and enjoy your leave because you are actually supposed to be on holiday.
Yeah, like I said, I never turn down a Real Summits, even on my holiday. On my funeral, I'm going to do a Real Summits event.
Love to hear it. That's why we love you.
Such haircut. It makes you look younger.
Thank you. Thank you.
We've been saying that, Rob. We've been saying that. He's also lost a tremendous amount of weight. So that is also helping him look younger.
Yeah, this is now officially the best looking online panel you've ever seen.
Oh, man. Not only online, come on, offline as well.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, Rob.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Take care. Oh, man. Guys, for the last time, it is realsummits.com/RM. You do not want to miss this offer. Sergio, are you going to let me be the one to say it, or do you want to say it?
The countdown or realsummits.com/RM.
He couldn't resist. But the slide will be down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! I love the team. I love you guys so much. Thank you.
I noticed a little bit of hesitancy between the 5 and the 4. You're like, 5. Wait, hold on. Let me not go to 4 so quickly.
Yes,
let me give them a bit of a...
just in case they didn't catch. I was doing the countdown. Oh man, love.
Guys, we are on top of the hour, and we're going to move on to our next speaker.
Pooja said, "Oh, guys, stop the bickering." LOL. Yeah. We'll never stop, Pooja, because I know low-key you love it.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Go.
So, we've got the poll up, and it's showing about 71% of the room that have never listened to John DeMartini before. And they're in for a real treat, Candice, because this is going to be an absolutely fantastic session. Before we go in there, while you guys are voting on the poll, I've asked this question many times during the summit this weekend, and I'm going to ask it one more time. If you wake up in the morning and you feel like you don't know what your purpose is, you don't know why you're here, and you have this feeling in the pit of your stomach that just says, like, why? What am I here for? And you feel lost, go ahead and put a P into the chat if you're looking for that purpose and you haven't found it. Maybe you've tried other things in the past. Maybe you've had a job that you thought was great and you've left it and started a business and it might have failed. And just let us know. Put a P into the chat if that is you. Remember, the chat is completely on private, so nobody is going to see anything. It's only going to be us, and I'm not going to call out any names or betray your trust. But today's session we're going to move on to now is going to be led by Brian Walsh. Now, if you don't know who Brian Walsh is our Chief Visionary Officer. He's our CVO, but he's actually our CEO. He is the man who had this vision of real success, of connecting people on learning journeys on a global basis. Now, life wasn't always that fun and dandy for Brian. He had to go through different phases of his life of success and failure, and he had ended up becoming a coach, a mentor to entrepreneurs. But the catch was that he himself was struggling as an entrepreneur. In fact, a lot of the things that he was teaching to other people, they had gone out and made millions upon millions, and he wasn't getting the results until he came across a lot of different teachers. But the one teacher that played a fundamental role in him actually living a life that is congruent to his values and unlocking wealth, meaning, and freedom was John DeMartini. And right now we're going to hand over to Brian. So guys, if we were in a live auditorium or arena, I'd say, get up, get your butts off the chairs, put your hands in the air like you just don't care, and give some love to our next speaker, our leader, our visionary, Brian Walsh.
Serge, my man, thank you so much for that.
I forgot to add that we were bad boys for life. I normally used to say that before. I don't know why it went away. Bad boys for life. So
yeah, it's late, guys. It's late. You got to give it up for our whole team. It's now 11 o'clock at night in South Africa, and they will finish at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. And that's because the majority of our guests, of course, are from the US and Caribbean and from Canada and places like that. Of course, there's lots of diehards as well that are here until all hours of the morning for themselves. And I think that's amazing. But I want to this is an important session for me. I know a lot of you have not heard of John, and do me a favor, don't go anywhere. All right. John's going to talk to you just now, and I'm going to share something that has influenced the lives literally of hundreds of thousands of people in my communities. And I just want you to get it. And if you get it, then I will invite you to work more directly with John and myself going forward. But, Serge mentioned that I got to say, I run this organization that connects with millions of people around the world, with some of the greatest teachers around the world. I was the number one skeptic. I was the person who kind of liked the stuff related to personal development and business development, but really because my life didn't illustrate the results that I was telling people they could get. I don't know if any of you are teachers or coaches and have experienced this, where you actually go through a phase and you start to question yourself. I'd be on stage teaching, and my little voice would be going like, yeah, okay, but when are you going to take your own advice? When are you actually going to do what you're talking about. And the truth was, it was up until when I turned 42, which was 2012. I'll never forget this. I woke up early in 2012, and I walked through to my bathroom, looked at myself in the mirror, and I literally screamed at myself. And I said, what the friggin' hell is wrong with you? Are you slightly more animated language than that? And I shouted at myself, and I said, how many decades do you have to live on this planet before you can actually show a resemblance of success? I got into personal development at the age of 26. I got into the industry probably about 10 years after that. I'd been teaching entrepreneurs, coaching entrepreneurs, working with people all over the world. My lifestyle was okay. But when you get to 40, for those that are that and beyond, right, you start to really wonder, because here's the thing. My life didn't illustrate that I knew anything about success. And I'm not just talking about a financial perspective, although that was very important at that stage. I'm talking about relationships and connections and consistency in business and making things work and not, getting past that kind of stage in business where you feel stuck and you're worried about cash flow and whether you can pay the bills, et cetera, et cetera. And I just felt like I was never going to get past that. And here's why. And let me tell you my sort of truth in this, all right? So when I turned 30, for those of you that are around that age, or for those of you that are older, remember, okay, when I turned 30, I said to myself, when I'm 40, I'm going to be in the best financial position of my life. Now, that was probably the wrong statement to start off with, because I'd never been in a very good financial position. So it wouldn't be that much to be in the best, okay? But you know what I meant. I thought I'm going to be cruising. I got 10 years. And when you're 30, 40 seems like a lifetime away, all right? And I thought, I'm gonna knock this out the park. I mean, I'm surrounded by incredible people. I have all the resources I want. And anyway, I turned 40 in 2010. Okay, 22nd of March, 2010. Yes, my birthday was just a couple of days ago. And I was living in this little place. So this is actually my apartment behind you. I've got the ocean over there. It's a beautiful apartment on the beach. It's got a pool table behind me here. It's very kind of bachelor-y. Gives you an indication of what I am. But it's beautiful, and I love it. It's not a background. It's actually real. And I get to live an amazing lifestyle now. When I look at this open area, there's a lounge over there with a big TV and open plan kitchen. And I lived in an apartment, if you look at what you can see to the back, smaller than what you can see to the back. It had a single bed. I was in the army when I was very young, and we used to be on these kind of steel, metal beds. There was a single bed like that. It had a shower that I would like sort of, do this and turn around in order to shower in. And it was really, really small. And I woke up on the 22nd of March, 2010, and my little voice said, how's it going? Now, what did the little voice mean? You see, the little voice, by the way, which is the ego, and you know which little voice I'm talking about, the one that just said, what little voice to you? Okay, he's talking about that little one. Some of us have multiple voices. The truth is, at the end of the day, that ego of mine was literally, hey, you just turned 40. You're living in a little miniature apartment that you're paying the least you've ever paid for anything, on a little single steel bed. Your stuff's in storage. You just got divorced. Where's your life? And I'll never forget this, because I spoke back to the little voice. That's what you have to do sometimes, right? And I said to the little voice, hey, I said when I was 40, not when I turned 40. And I was going to be 40 for a whole year. Now, this would have been a beautiful story if I got to 41 and I was now successful. But no. I got to 41, and I won't say I was worse off. Emotionally, I definitely was worse off, because nothing had really changed. So what happened is I kind of wrote that year off, just got busy. But now it's January 2022. I'm going to turn 42, and enough is enough. And I had that conversation in the mirror. How many decades do you have to live on this freaking planet before you can resemble some element of success? And I remembered a piece of advice from this incredible man, Dr. John DeMartini, that at that stage I had known for 5 years. And the piece of advice was, when you wanted something, he was speaking particularly about money. He said, if you want to succeed with money, if you want to learn how to make more money, manage it better, and invest it to create assets and wealth, You have to go out there and learn everything you can about that. And you don't stop until your life illustrates that you've got it. And initially, when I looked at my life, I said, well, my life's clearly illustrated. I don't have the money thing sorted. I don't have the relationship sorted. I don't have the health thing sorted. It's not illustrating anything. And in that moment, it wasn't in that initial moment, because actually I was depressed for a few days, because we asked yourself a question like, what's wrong with you? How many decades do you have to live before you get it right? Well, obviously, you're going to get answers like, well, you're just stupid. You're never meant to be successful. I actually started to think maybe it was like you were dished out, as people are born, like you'll succeed, you'll fail, you'll struggle, you'll struggle, or you'll succeed, you'll struggle. Like, I don't know. I used to buy into every piece of rubbish theory there was, because honestly, I didn't believe that this stuff actually worked, because it wasn't working for me, even though I could see it working for other people. Even though I was teaching people that it was working for, that's what made it worse. It wasn't working for me. But when I asked myself, what can I really do about this? I realized that I intellectually knew a lot of nonsense. All right? I knew a lot of stuff. I was even teaching the right stuff. What I teach today was the same stuff I was teaching before I became successful. The truth is, I didn't get it because I wasn't necessarily doing what I was teaching. I was just teaching, and I was listening, and intellectually I knew a lot of stuff, but my life didn't illustrate I knew anything. And in that moment, I became a humble student. Something that you really need to do. You need to shut the little voice up that says, I know this. I've heard this before. Oh, yeah, Rob, yeah, I know that stuff. Oh, yeah, Paul, I know that stuff. Oh, Peter, yeah, I've heard that before. Oh, yeah, of course, Richard, you know exactly what you're talking about, but I've heard it before. I know this. I don't need to watch this. You don't know anything unless your life illustrates it. Let's be very, very clear. You don't know anything unless your life illustrates it. Shut that arrogant little ego voice up in your head that says, I know stuff, when your life doesn't illustrate that you know it. In that space, become a humble student and go and learn. And go and learn, and go and learn, and do, 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 learn, do, until your life starts to illustrate. Will you stop? Not a chance. So I went back and started to read books I'd read. I went back to courses I'd been to. I remember actually, even though I had no money, I somehow decided I'm going to go and see Tony Robbins for the first time, because he was my original mentor through his books and that, but I'd never seen him live. And in the midst of this change, I went to friends, said, hey, let's go and listen to Dr. John DeMartini. And I thought, okay, I haven't seen John for a while. Let me pop past. I went through, it was just a 1-hour presentation. I went there, said hi to John, sat down, listened to him for the umpteenth time, talk about this thing called values, talk about this thing called purpose. And I walked up with the little bit that was left on my credit card, and I walked up to the back of the room, and I swiped my card and I said, I'm doing this workshop with John called the Breakthrough Experience this weekend. A week before I left to New York to go to Tony, borrowed money, obviously, because I didn't have the money. And I did this session just so that I could get clarity on my values. And this was in 2012. It didn't take the 8 years because I still had lots of undoing and learning to do. But on the back of the clarity of who I was, my life started to change. On the back of the humility of, number one, being certain about who I was, what my purpose was, being a humble student, my life started to change. My financial situation started to change a little bit. My relationship situation started to change a little bit. As I mastered this game, and people look at me now with a multi-million-dollar business and millions of dollars in profit, incredible relation, incredible team, living an incredible lifestyle, and they say, what really changed, Brian? Because I'm an avid learner. I read books. I listen to books. I go to seminars. I travel. What is the one thing that had the greatest impact on your life, to shift your life? It is what I'm going to get John to share with you right now. Because I promise you, regardless of what everyone else is talking about, this fundamental understanding is what's going to give you the foundation in order to attract the right circumstances, people, and opportunity into your life for you to live the life that you deserve, for you to manifest the outcomes that you don't even realize you're worthy of manifesting in your life right now. So how many of you, based on what I've just said in the little short story I've told you, are going, okay, I want to hear this. I want to understand this. How many of you are ready to hear from John something that's profound? John's not live with us. He's an opportunity to work with him live. He's busy doing a workshop this weekend. But this particular video, which actually comes from 5 years ago, in 24 minutes, I believe will blow you away. And you can tell me afterwards whether it did. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to John for the next 25 minutes. And then I'm going to come and wrap it up. And you're going to decide what you want to do with it. I'm going to give you the tools to go and do it yourself if you want to. If you want to work with us, it doesn't matter. It's up to you. But if you get what he's saying, and if you understand that I promise you, in all the skepticism of the world and all the rubbish that I've been through, this foundation is critical for anybody to succeed in any area of their life, then we can look at how we can take it forward for you. Okay, so guys, let's play the video. John, guys, enjoy. Please get a pen and paper. You're going to want to pay attention to this. This is not publicly available, so make sure that you get everything you can out of it. All right, guys, let's go.
Everyone in this room, including yourself and each person around you, your family, your children, the people you interact with, your parents, every human being, regardless of race, creed, color, age, or sex, lives by a set of priorities. A set of priorities. And I'll draw that up here as a series of lines. I'll use 7 lines. But everybody has a set of priorities, a set of values, things that are most important to least important in their life. So I'll call this the highest value, the highest priority, or the thing that's most important here. And the lesser or least value, lesser priority or lower priority, and the thing that's less important here. And obviously there's a gradation between that as far as importance. This entire structure is called the value structure. I also like to call it the hierarchy of our values. So every individual has a hierarchy of values, a set of priorities that they run their life by. And this set of values is fingerprint specific. It's unique to you. There will never be 2 people that have exactly the same set of values. But as we go through life, as we evolve, our values are evolving. Some of those values change significantly, some not at all. Whatever's highest on your value, the very highest value, you're spontaneously inspired from within to do. So whatever's highest on your value, you're inspired from within. You do not need motivation or incentives or anything to remind you or motivate you to do the highest value. Now, my highest value is researching and teaching. I do it every day. And for 42 and a half years, nobody has ever had to motivate me to do it. I can't wait to get up in the morning and do that. I love that. This highest value, because it's inspired from within, it's intrinsic. It's from within. As you go down the list of values, the farther you go down, the greater degree of motivation is required to get you to do them. If you require motivation to do what you think is important to you, what you think is important to you isn't important to you. You don't need motivation to do what's highest on your value. You don't need reminding. You don't need persuasion. You don't need anything. It's inspired intrinsically from within. I don't need motivation to research and teach. I am not a motivational speaker. A motivational speaker is somebody trying to motivate you to do something that's not highest on your value with rhetoric and persuasion. I'm an inspired educator. I educate people on how to live congruently with an inspired life. I am interested in one thing: helping an individual get so congruent they never need motivation again. How many of you understand what I'm saying? So these lower values become extrinsic. This highest value in theological terms has been called the calling. So to people who are exploring the metaphysical and esoteric world of the theological and philosophical, it is sometimes called the calling within. You feel that it's what you're ordained to do. The ancient Greeks call it the telos. The telos means the end in mind. Napoleon Hill called it the chief aim. The chief aim is the thing you have a burning desire to do. The burning desire is another name that you have enthusiasm to do it. Enthusiasm means entheos, the God within. You feel inspired from within and feel called to fulfill that telos. I'm a teacher. I had a vision to be a teacher at age 17. That has never left my sight. The ancient Greeks knew how important it was to access this telos, and they made a whole study of it, and they called it teleology. Teleology is the study of meaning and purpose. So your highest value is the most meaningful, most inspiring, most purposeful thing to fulfill in your life. So for whatever it's worth, your purpose is your highest value. So you don't need to look anywhere else but there. That's your purpose. So when you're writing a purpose statement, a mission statement, it is that. It is revolved around the highest value, the most intrinsic you. It's the most integral, authentic you. So this is where you are automatically, spontaneously inspired, where you have most meaning, you're most fulfilled, you're most present in your life. As you go down, you have less degrees of fulfillment. And you require incentives and motivations to keep making you do it because it doesn't mean too much to you. 10-year-old boys who love video games don't need to be reminded or motivated to do their video games. They may need to be reminded or motivated to do their cleaning of their room, doing their homework, these kind of things. But they don't need to be reminded to do what they love to do. Now, your brain has sensory input, sensory nerves, processing internerves, and outgoing motor nerves for affection and effection and selection. But it also has specialized cells called glial cells. Glial cells are specialized cells in the brain that outnumber the nerve cells and are involved in neuroplastically remodeling the brain. So maybe you can write this. Your brain is a telos seeking and fulfilling organ. Your brain is a telos seeking and fulfilling organ. I just had a noted neurologist with me in London who his light bulb went on when he listened to this presentation the other night. He came up to me and he said, "You just changed my whole neurological focus." Your brain is a telos fulfilling organ. It is doing everything it can to assist you in fulfilling your telos. Let me explain. Because you have a hierarchy of values, let's say that you are a mother who has a hierarchy of values where your children, your 3 children under the age of 5, is your highest value. Taking care of those children. Being a great mother. If you walk through the mall, maybe the Santon Convention Center or some mall, if your highest value is your children, when you walk through the mall, you will spot children's items, children's clothes, children's entertainment, children's education, children's health. Anything that's going to help you fulfill what you envision for your children, you will spot in the environment selectively biased attention to notice things in the environment. You can sleep through a freight train, but you'll wake up at the whimpering of a child. Because your telos and your glial cells selectively bias what you attend to and notice in your environment. So you're selecting things according to your telos, your highest value. So your values are governing the remodeling of your brain. So if you walk in a mall and you see things that are related to the children, every nerve ending, eyesight, touch, sound, any nerve sensory input that helps you fulfill the telos, the glial cells will myelinate those nerves to enhance the conduction, neurogenically stimulate the nerves to multiply to enhance more reception. It'll bring nutrition to the cell to make sure that the reception is most smooth, and it will remove any cell that interferes with it, like it removes tree branches from anything that doesn't reach to enlight. Your brain is like an arbor or a tree trying to have enlightenment, and what is enlightenment is what inspires it most. So the brain is literally remodeling itself through the glial cells according to what fulfills your highest value. Every decision you make in the interneurons and every action you take also is selectively biased, retentive, and intentive. That means you're constantly remodeling those nerves that are now acting. So if you have children and your highest value is children, you will eventually master the skill and it'll go almost unconscious in the ability to handle those children. The husband, let's say if that person happens to be an entrepreneur and he comes home and that's not his highest value, his children, but his businesses, he will not have the smooth, articulate ability to manage those children as much as the mother. So your sensory, your decisions, and your motor functions are enhanced in the area of your highest values. So your brain is modeling itself and pruning itself to maximize the fulfillment of your life. It is trying to help you be integral and authentic. It is doing everything it can. And anytime you're seeing things that you perceive not fulfilling your telos, where you feel futile, helpless, hopeless, you have the part of the brain, the glial cells, demyelinate the area and bring away the nutrition and prune away the brain. So your brain is dying when you're not fulfilling your telos. And people who do not have meaning and purpose and inspiration and fulfillment because they're not committed to fulfilling their highest value, their brains gradually decay and deteriorate. And people, even with Alzheimer's condition, if that individual has the capacity to identify what's truly valuable and gives them things that are meaningful and challenging and yet inspiring to them, they can forestall that deterioration. We have a purpose to fulfill at any moment in time according to the hierarchy of our values. And every organism that fulfills that telos flourishes. And any organism that's not fulfilling its purpose self-destructs. So the atoms and the molecules and the subatomic particles of that organism will be released into the environment to those who will fulfill the purpose. To those who have, more is given. To those who haven't, more is taken away. When we are fulfilling our mission, we feel fulfilled, more is given to us. We start to synchronize and attract opportunity to us. Because we can spot opportunity, make decisions, and act on it. So our perceptions, our decisions, and our actions are based on our telos, our highest value. Raise your hand if you're with me so far. So we have, in a sense, a selective biased attention, a selective biased retention, and a selective biased intention here. And we have attention deficit disorder here, retention deficit disorder here, and intention deficit disorder here. We're disciplined, we're reliable, and we're focused in our highest values, and we procrastinate, we hesitate, and we frustrate in our lowest values. I don't cook. That's not even on my value list. It's beneath. The last time I cooked, I was 24 years old. To save lives. I don't drive. I've only driven once in the last 24 years, going on 25 years. And that was in Australia, and I was on the wrong side of the road. Anything that is not the highest value, gradually you're going to want to shed and delegate to those people who would be inspired to fulfill it. You reward the world by giving yourself permission to live according to your own highest values and give the opportunity to those, for them to live according to their highest values on what you delegate. And you build organization as a leader to the degree that you do. Now, if you set a goal that is aligned with that highest value, you have an increasing probability of achievement. Whereas if you set a goal that is based on the lower value, you have a decreasing probability of achievement. You also, if you set a goal at the highest value, you have an increasing probability of self-worth and a belief in yourself. And you increase your certainty in yourself. And you increase your leadership. So this is a path of leader. Everyone in this room has a leader inside them. But your leadership is dormant until you become congruent with your intentions according to your highest value. The moment you set a goal that is congruent and aligned with the highest value, you tend to walk your talk. You tend to become inspired. You tend to become awakened and alert. Your reticular activating system comes alive, and you spot opportunity, you make decisions quickly, and you act. You're disciplined, reliable, and focused. When you live by your highest value, the executive center comes online. The executive center, which is the medial prefrontal cortex of the brain, the telencephalon. The telencephalon is the end in mind, end in brain, that goes with the end in mind. And this is the executive that has self-governance and self-mastery. So the moment you live congruently with your highest values, you become a master of your destiny, not a victim of your history. You become integrated. Everything you'll ever read on leadership, any books you'll read, you will see that all the things they describe in leaders will boil down to what will be integral if you live by the highest values. Because here, you will have resiliency, you will have integrity, you will be inspired. And when you live by the highest values, something really amazing occurs. Because of the executive center visualizes, strategizes, and executes. So the second you become congruent, you know your values and you set sail on them and become captain of your ship and master of your destiny, master of your fate, if you will. The moment you do, your mind, because the executive system comes online, you have self-governance, not emotional animal behavior. You're resilient, and you start to see a vision. So those who are called, who are inspired, see a vision. And as Ian Rand describes, it's not a vision from others, it's an unborrowed vision. It's a vision from within, which creates novel, unique, original, ingenious creations. We all want to make a difference. Our difference that we make is proportionate to our congruency. Because if we're not living by our highest values, and we're injecting the values of other people, which cloud the clarity of our own mission, we will not be original thinkers. We will subordinate and infiltrate other people's ideas inside us. To the degree that we subordinate to people on the outside and think they have something we don't, and minimize ourselves in comparison, we lose our vision, we lose our mastery, and we subordinate, and we live in the shadows of people instead of on the shoulders of giants. And the moment we live on the shoulders of giants and give ourselves permission to expand and be original thinkers, then vision, an inspired vision, expands us to new horizons. Our space and time horizons expand to the degree that we are congruent. Because when we are congruent with our highest values, we set a goal and we achieve it. And the moment we achieve it, we want to set a bigger goal. So we then expand and we give ourselves permission to do something extraordinary on planet Earth. Everybody in here has a desire to make the difference. They make the greatest difference when they're authentic. And no fantasy that they could ever impose on themselves is as profound as the authentic them that's inspired from within when they live by their telos. Because that's when their brain, and the brain governs the body, and the body is there to, in a sense, be subordinate to the brain. When the brain is congruent and is living by the telos, then the physiology brings wellness, wholeness, and maximizes its vitality and doesn't age. But the moment we subordinate to other people, inject the values of others, cloud the clarity of our own inspired, unborrowed vision, and we shroud and shrink instead of expand and empower, we automatically create illness and symptoms as a feedback mechanism to us to let us know we're not being authentic. The symptoms in our body, just like the symptoms in our business, are feedback mechanisms to guide us to be authentic. Everything you will do in your business will be a feedback system. It is not a failure. It's not a success. Those are both illusions. You will basically have feedback mechanisms to help you fulfill your telos as an authority in your life. You want to be your own authority, not subordinate to outer authority. The number one thing that stops people from living by their telos is the minimization of themselves as they compare themselves to others that they think have something they don't. There's nothing missing in you. You have everything that you might ever see in the people around you. In the program I do called the Breakthrough Experience, on Sunday, which I usually do it on the weekends, I have people take the most powerful people in their life in each of the 7 areas of life. The greatest spiritual leaders, the greatest geniuses, the greatest business leaders, the greatest financial leaders, the greatest social leaders, the greatest family dynasties, the greatest physical athletes or physical beauties. All of those individuals that you might look up to, you go and identify what it is that you admire, and then you look within yourself and identify where and when do you demonstrate this, and you don't stop. And I mean you don't stop until you awaken to your awareness that you have everything you see in others, that the seer, the seeing, and the seen are the same, and nothing's missing in you. And to the degree that you do that, and you start to value yourself and realize nothing's missing in you, then the world around you recognizes what you are, which is fulfillment. And you automatically draw and attract people to you automatically, because every human being desires to live in that state, live authentically. And so anybody who exemplifies that authentic state will automatically magnetize opportunity from all the people around them who desire to live in that same state. You cannot, it is impossible not to be a leader to the degree of your congruency, because you're inspired. Nobody has to remind you to get up and do what you do. You will do whatever it takes, travel whatever distance, pay whatever price to give your services of love. People can sense the authenticity. They want to be part of that. They want it to rub off. As Einstein said, the greatest teacher is exemplification. And by you exemplifying it, you're teaching. And teaching has a ripple effect that can't be stopped. Nothing mortal on the planet can interfere with an immortal, called-in, visionary individual. They leave their mark in history. And their space and time horizons keep expanding. And as they expand, they go from day to day, to week, to month, to year, to decade, to generation, to century, to millennium, to millennium. And the magnitude of space and time that expands will determine the conscious evolution that they've obtained in their life. And they will basically leave an immortal effect once their vision exceeds their own mortal existence. So the more congruent you are, the more you wake up your immortal legacy. Because you start achieving goals that are bigger and even beyond your life. You start thinking, I can do things even beyond my life. I can set up structures through delegations to do something. As Seneca said, don't look into the people in your own generations for achievement. Look for the generations to come and set sail on a vision that expands beyond your normal generation. For they are the people that will take your message globally and beyond.
Okay, so tell me in the chat, what do you think? Just express whatever you're feeling, what you're thinking. You spent 24 minutes with Dr. John Demartini. Most of you have never seen him before. Some of you that are more regulars in our space have obviously heard John before. What do you think? Because here's the thing. I've watched that video hundreds of times. I played that video. We did an event once with 5,000 people. And we played an extended version of that video. You could hear a pin drop in that room. That's how, John has this ability to just get you and get your attention. And here's the thing, guys. I don't care what you are doing, what your vision is. You own a business, whether you want to make money, have a better relationship, get healthier, whatever the case is. If you cannot, with absolute certainty, determine what is truly most important to you and why it's most important to you, because that's only when you get the certainty, you're going blind. And that principle of being authentic, and it's such a hoo-ha word, let's be authentic. What is authentic? Well, authentic is being true to who you are, not what other people expect you to be. And because we're clouded by everyone imposing their values on us, we can't help it, guys. We impose our values on other people because if it's important to us, we think it should be important to everybody else. So you're living in a society we can criticize. We can say it's the churches and religion and our friends and society and school and all these kind of things that impose values on us. But let's just face it. We do it ourselves to other people. We get in a relationship with somebody. We say, hey, this is important to me. Therefore, it should be important to you. But it's not. What makes us truly unique is defining what's truly important to us and then living our life in congruence with what's important to us. And I promise you, a lot of you might be thinking, yes, I know what's important to me, but you don't. You don't. So here's the thing. How many of you would love to figure out what my values are, your values, and how to integrate your life and shift things so that you can live as authentically as possible and go out there and make the biggest impact, an impact that you don't even realize you can make with your life right now. Just type in me if that's you right now. And I'll give you a couple of options to do this. One of them is to work with John and myself, and that's very limited, but I'm going to tell you how you can do it even without doing that. All right, so me, tons of me's coming up here. So here's the thing. There is a simple process that John developed called the value determination process. Sounds easier than it is because it's really just 13 questions, but there's a whole context around how you use it. Now, John wrote a book called The Values Factor. The Values Factor. The book, The Values Factor. Write it out because I know you're going to say, what is the book? What is the name of the book? The Values Factor by Dr. John Demartini. You can buy that book. It's available on Audible. It's available on Amazon. It's available in every platform around the world. You find it in the bookstores. It's his latest book, especially where he's popular, like in South Africa, he's very popular, and all over various parts of the world. I mean, John used to travel to 50 physical countries every single year. He's starting to do it again now as things calm down with COVID. But the truth is, You can buy the book. What's that going to cost you? $10 or something? I'm not sure. 1 credit on Audible if you want the audio version. And you can do this. You can go and do the exercise. You can learn so much more about it, how to integrate into relationships, how to use it to generate wealth, etc. Or how many of you who just spent 25 minutes with Dr. Demartini think that if you spent a whole day with him, he could really influence your life? Now, this is not a theory lecture. This is a practical intervention. How many of you think, just type in yes, if you think, if I could work with John for a day and he could guide me on this, wow, what impact would it make? Just type in yes, if that's you. Because this is what we're going to do. I love it that John Assaraf is coming after John. So John Demartini, John Assaraf were both on The Secret. All right. So these are two incredible minds. They love each other. They're very close friends. And I think it's quite ironic. We go from John Demartini and in 15 minutes you get John Assaraf. This is a power session of note between these two guys, right? John's actually with you, physically through the whole presentation. That's John Assaraf coming up just now. But for those that want to work, and I promise you this is one of the most profound things you can learn. And by the way, John Demartini, we call him the teacher's teacher because most teachers that you're listening to over this weekend know John, not just from a personal perspective. He's a good friend of mine, but they know him as the teacher that teaches them in terms of their own congruence. All right, so let's put the slides up, guys, and I'll take you through this opportunity quickly for those who now remember, you can buy the book, The Values Factor. The Values Factor. If you just want to buy the book, go and buy the book. It's going to cost you a few dollars. You can work it out. But if you want to get help, if you want to get absolute certainty, if you want your life, if you want to put a grounding into your life that's going to have an impact immediately on any area that you want to change, then you might want to do this. So this is very unique because John, it's only through my influence, I'm going to be very honest, that I get to do and offer the things I'm going to offer to you now. It's not, you're never going to get this from Dr. Demartini. He's very big on his value. He's very big. You will never work with John personally for less than $1,000. Okay, that's the minimum if you were doing something. So he's going to do a special live event on the 13th of April. All right, it's called Live in Your Values. And it's for those of you that have defined your values and want to know how to mold your life to maximize the law of attraction, maximize the results, the impact that you get, to be as authentic as you can, as quickly as you can. All right. And he's never done this before. It's very, very unique. And you can do that by simply attending on the 13th of April. All right. So what you'll learn is you'll learn where your values come from, unlocking wealth hidden in your values, how to turn your highest values into your vocation. In other words, how to live. I mean, you guys are going to be surprised. Like, people have values like you might have your dog's your highest value, or working with animals, or working with children, or being a mother, or running your business, which is a common one with a lot of people. It might be sport. It might be relationships. It might be things that actually freak you out when you actually realize them. And in some cases, you're going to think, well, how can I turn that into my vocation? I love my dog, so how am I going to make money off that? John's going to freak you out. Okay, he's going to tell you stories and he's going to give you many examples of how you can mold your life to be authentic, so you live a life daily that's authentic to who you are, how to delegate effectively, so those things you don't want to do that aren't serving you, how to support your values and how to engage, and much, much more. All right, and you can go to realsummits.com, JD work, if you want to get there. It's a one-day event on the 3rd of April, but I decided, and I get to do this uniquely with John because of my personal relationship, and to kind of VIP upgrade you to a special package. How many of you would love to not just get this day with John, but every tool that we have available in the arsenal for you to maximize the outcome? And by the way, how many of you would love to know your values before you get to this workshop with John? Because actually the value comes out of you knowing your values before you get to the workshop with John. All right, so yes, me, everybody. All right, so we're going to do a special package on this. There I go, pressing the wrong button. And basically, the first thing we're going to do is how to live an authentic and fulfilled life. This is a special package that we put in all together. So we're trying to maximize your ability to achieve this. So yes, you're going to get the one-day workshop with John on the 13th of April. But I'm going to do an additional workshop with you on the 12th. So technically, you can make it a 2-day event if you want to. Otherwise, you can just come in with John. But it's important that you know your values before you come and spend the day with John. So even though I'm going to give you the tools to do this immediately, for some of you, you're going to get too caught up in life. So I'd suggest you write down Tuesday, the 12th of April. I'll give you the time shortly. And you come in there and spend a day with myself and John. John will be on video. I'll be live, where we'll actually walk you through doing your values. All right. So what are your values? Why are they so important to your success? How do we know your values? Actually do the process, determine your values live. How do you confirm your values? Very important, so that you can have certainty and conviction with them. And how do you define your purpose based on those values? And we're going to do this over a full day, the day before you work with John. All right. So that's the first thing we're going to add in as the bonus. So now you're basically getting the day with John exclusively, plus the day with myself and John. Remember, John's on video on that first day as an added bonus. Also going to give you a comprehensive manual, so you can work this stuff afterwards, during. You can revisit it on a regular basis. What's inside, introduction to values, a whole lot of written variants around what you're actually going to be doing in terms of defining your purpose and living an authentic based life as a whole. All right. And then we're going to also, on top of that, and this is what's important, and I want you to know, the quicker you use this, the quicker you do this, the better. Okay. So I would suggest you take action immediately. So I'm going to give you immediate access to Know Your Values, Know Your Purpose, an online course exclusively done by myself and John, not available anywhere else on the planet. And what's inside it is really 3 fundamental sections. The introduction, that's obviously separate. Section 1 is what are your values? So really understanding that in depth. Section 2 is determining your values. So that's the process, again, you can do online as many times as you need to. You get this for life. Section 3 is confirm your values. Very, very important, and what a lot of people don't do, which means they don't have that true conviction and belief towards it, and therefore it doesn't engage. And then there's some bonus material from John as well. So you can do this immediately. You can do this tonight. I mean, I wouldn't suggest if you're in South Africa, you do it tonight because you still got the summit. You can do it on Monday, but you can get onto this work straight away. And then in a few weeks' time, you can come and work with John and myself to really mold your life to maximize the outcome as a whole. All right, so that's immediate access bonus number 3. And lastly, there's only 100 of these available. Now, this is very important. The live event is actually being recorded specifically to create an online product that will be sold for $990 from about the end of April, early May, when it gets launched. Okay. So this is a once-off opportunity, and you guys get to interact, and we're going to work with you individually, etc. If you want to come there. So the added values, you get the full lifetime access to all the recordings to use as much as you want, to use with your friends, to use with your family, to use with your business, which is very, very important. But you do not want to miss the opportunity, the exclusive opportunity that you get to work with John live. Okay, because that's uniquely available. So the value of this total package is $3,940. And I think, and remember, there's only 100 of them available. So take action if you want it. There's a couple of thousand of you in the room. So make sure that you don't miss out on this. I promise you the impact, and this is 100% guaranteed, I will personally pay you back. If you do this stuff and you come and tell me this is rubbish and it didn't make sense to you and it doesn't work and you don't want to do it anymore, I will guarantee every penny personally and make sure it comes back to you. I don't want to take one penny from you unless you can utilize this and actually get the result. There's the dates of the workshops live. 12th of April, that's for myself and John on video. And then on the 13th of April, that's exclusively with John live. All right. And there you can see the times as well. US Eastern, US PST, UK, South Africa, just giving you a kind of indication as a whole. Okay. So what's it going to cost if you haven't taken action yet? All right. Well, today it could be $1,970, and every penny would be well spent. Of course, the actual value of the workshop and the value of the package that we're going to be selling afterwards is $990. So I think that's a very fair price, because how much has it been worth to me? I don't know, maybe $20 or $30 million. I can honestly say that the manifestation of my success is based on this grounding. Without this grounding, I would not have achieved a fraction of what I've achieved in my life over the last sort of number of years. That's, you can believe that. You don't have to. It's entirely up to you. But that's very, very truthful to me. But you guys, obviously, we have these opportunities that are crazy. We literally have the best prices and opportunities on the planet. A lot of these guys, they're telling you that this is the lowest they've ever sold something. You can actually go and check it out. You'll never find it anywhere else in the world except at Real Success at these prices. This one's not available anywhere else in the world. So today, only $197. Once off, you get all of that. Guys, if this, you just got to do it. Now, it's not going to take you days and days to do it. unless you get stuck with it. We'll walk you through it, the process, the interaction around how you can do it. But you can go and dedicate, let's say, half a day on that online course, and you can define your values, confirm your values, and immediately you're going to start seeing impact in your life as a whole. By the time you get to John on the 13th live, where he's going to give you hundreds of tools to fully maximize the integration of those values into your life's going to be like never going to be the same. I can promise you that. I can promise you from the bottom of my heart, working with hundreds of teachers, that this is the foundation that changes everything. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to go buy the book, The Values Factor, for a few dollars and try and figure it out yourself. Amazing book. I recommend you do that regardless. Or if you actually work with us and let us hold your hand through this process. You're going to get the live online course. You can work with that immediately. If you get stuck, if you don't get around to it because you've got too many other things going on in your chaotic life, make sure you've put in the diary, the 12th of April, 13th of April. I will run you through live with John and video, everything that you have to do to prepare yourself in terms of your values on the 12th. And even if you have done them previously, come and do them again with me. Come and interact with me around them. By the time you get to John on the 13th, you want certainty. These are my values. How do I now mold my life to maximize the outcome as a whole? This is a truly, truly profound. Yeah, I can't say much more about it. Serge, are you there, my man? Because you know how important. We use this in our business. We do the values for all our team. We look at how they get or how they serve their values in our business by being in our business, by the things that they do. We try and create congruence for them in terms of what they actually do in our business in order to maximize output. And people often say, how do you get such a loyal team? How do you get such a dedicated group of people? It's not about anything special. I mean, there's many aspects to it, but the most important thing is if you are Serge, for instance, or Candace, our two hosts, they get to do the things that mean the most to them in life. And by doing that and us giving them an opportunity to do that, they are masters of what they do as a whole. Serge, John, you've worked with this stuff a lot, made a huge impact, right?
Yeah. I think the main thing here is that when you like by default, currently anyone who doesn't know their values, and I know that people will be saying, Serge, I know my value. My value is kindness. But that's not a value. You can say things about the most kindest people in the world, but yet they still had moments where they weren't kind. So it's not something that's always there. But by default, if you don't understand your values, you're living. If you're not living your highest values, you're living somebody else's lowest values. Okay, and what happens is that if you are living somebody else's lowest values of what's low on their priority list, you're making somebody else's dream a reality. You're making somebody else rich. You're making somebody else happy. You're making somebody else healthier by decreasing their stress, by decreasing their anxiety. That's what you're doing by default with everyone around you until you understand what your values are and how do you live congruently with them. I asked in the beginning, if you woke up in the morning and you just didn't know what you were here for, it's because you don't know what your values are. And when you understand what your values are, because your life will illustrate that more often than not, if you find out what your value is, it's like, oh, that can't be my value. Education can't be my value. Wealth should be my value. I want that to be my value, but that's not your value. But if you understand that if education's your value or being a mom's your value or whatever it could be, if you understand how to live congruently with them, in them, and you're 100% authentic with it, you'll see that there will be attracted to you. There'll be health attracted to you. You'll be starting to be surrounded by people who are going to take you to the next level. And that's what increases your circle of influence. Remember that people who are authentic and they know who they are and they know where they're going, they hang around with people who know who they are and where they're going. They don't hang around with people who are confused all the time. Yeah. So when you start to understand who you are, what you're made of, where you're going, what your values are, instantaneously you'll see doors in your life will just start opening.
I remember I used to say when I first spoke about purpose many years ago, like it was a choice. You know, I'd always joke, like, you're not going to wake up one morning and it's written on your roof, but it's a choice. You've got to decide what is your purpose. Then when I met John, even though it took a while because I'm kind of slow at a lot of things, you know, to actually like absorb what he was teaching, because John will talk values in all 87 of his presentations he presents around the world, right? He presents on numerous topics around human behavior, and he will always refer to values. But when I met John and I got that, I realized it's not a choice. It's already chosen for you. And this is the whole thing. You don't choose your values chose you. And that's why if you do the online course, or if you work with me the day before you work with John, or me and John, but obviously me live, is we're going to spend a lot of time on what we call confirming your values, getting absolute clarity. Because firstly, I've done values personally with well over 1,000 people. Okay. So this is one-on-one through when I was doing all my coaching and entrepreneurship for a long time. I couldn't work with anyone without knowing what their values were. Otherwise, I'd just be projecting my values, but I need to know what their values are so that I can help them mold a life in the congruence to their own values. Okay. I don't know how coaches can actually work with anyone without knowing what's important to those people. Otherwise, instinctively, you're going to impose what's important to you on them. All right. It's just something that you've got to understand. And so I've worked with over 1,000 people. So we often used to do these retreats where we'd go away with 10 or so business owners together. Saj has been on it with me before he joined us as a team. You know, many people have, and we used to love these retreats out in the bush in South Africa, out in safari. And I'd always start the first night, and I'd say, right, guys, some of you have done values, some of you have been with us for a long time. I want you to write down on a pen and paper right now what you think your values are. Okay, and they'd make a list. And I give them some serious time. I'd make sure they think about it. Then we would go through the process again. And then I would work with each individual to confirm their values. And 8 out of 10 of them were way off. I mean, some of them didn't even remotely have what they wrote on paper as the truth of who they actually were and what was truly most important. Because their mind is trying to control it, and they're trying to go oh, wait, yeah, of course, this should be, I mean, I've got young children, therefore being a parent must be the highest value. Ooh, John's going to work with you on that one, I tell you. And by the way, in that day you spend with John, we're going to hand select a bunch of you with your values so John can actually work with you on them as a whole. But if you work with me, if you use the online course, I'll help you confirm them. You know, John will talk about a tear of gratitude. That's what you'll feel. I've seen the biggest, butchest grown men cry, not cry hysterically, but actually shed a tear when they realize, oh my God, of course, this is the thing that's most important to me. Because when they put it all together based on their voids and based on their background, they suddenly go, oh, it makes perfect sense. So guys, please, please, please don't miss out on this opportunity. You're going to go and see John Assaraf now. I mean, these two men to me are two of the greatest men in the world. So it's so cool we got them back to back. But please don't miss out on the opportunity because it's transformational. It's a once-off, never to be repeated, and it'll absolutely change your life. Anyway, I'm out of here. We got to get to the next guy. Saj, thanks so much. Candace, so much. The production team, so much. Thanks for letting me share this. I'll pass on to John your guys' comments, and he's dying to see you guys on the 13th. But make sure you get the work done prior to that. Thanks so much.
All right. Awesome, Brian. Thanks so much, everybody, for signing up. Congratulations for those of you. I can see the names popping up on the right-hand side here. Remember that Brian has said there's only 100 packages available. So you can see we're getting close to that number. Lots of love coming into the chat. And I love the slide as well, the red and the blue. And sometimes when you're a speaker, you look at these things and you go, that's quite aesthetically quite nice. So, but that's less about me and more about you because we're moving on to our next speaker. And let me know, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take the slide down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know, they say the difference between Marvel movies and DC movies. Marvel movies, it's lights, camera, action. DC movies, it's camera, action. They're so dark. Anyways, the superhero fans will get that one. So, guys, we're going to move on to John Assaraf. But before we do that, let me know in the chat, who has ever heard of the movie The Secret? Who's ever watched it? And because if you have, you would recognize our next gentleman. And actually, the poll, it's swinging towards 60% of the room. Actually, it's moving more towards 50-50%, 50-50, even split at the moment of people that have seen John Assaraf before. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen John before, let me tell you a little bit more about John. Well, John has built 5 multi-million-dollar companies, not 1, 2, 5 multi-million-dollar companies. He's written 2 New York best-selling books and has been featured in 8 movies, including the blockbuster hit The Secret and The Quest for Success with Richard Branson and the Dalai Lama. Today, he is the founder and CEO of NeuroGym, a company dedicated to using the most advanced technologies and evidence-based brain training methods to help individuals to unleash their fullest potential and maximize their results. Put a 1 into the chat if you got a little bit of stubborn belly fat or just a little bit of things that you want to get out of you, but it's not falling away, it's not releasing. Put a 1 into the chat, because our next speaker, John Assaraf, is going to show you how do you retrain your brain to take off the health. No, we don't want to take off any wealth. To take off the weight. What am I saying? Take off the weight and keep it off permanently, because and also to make sure that it's filled with happiness, abundance, and joy as well. And we are going to cross over to John right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if we were in an auditorium, a live room, I would tell you to stand up, put your hands in the air like you just don't care. But we're not, so we're in digital. So go ahead and please put your digital hands in the air, put some whoop-whoops in the chat, put some heart emojis for the one, the only, the legendary John Assaraf.
Hey there, Saj. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the warm welcome in the chat. Listen, as an entrepreneur, a business owner, a father, a husband, a son, a daughter, all of us know what it's like to have the stress of life on our shoulders. Health, wealth, relationships, career, business. We're all super, super busy, right? Well, let me share a little story with you, because today I'm going to be talking with you about something I don't talk about too often. I often talk about making more money, growing your business so that you can live the lifestyle of your dreams. But sometimes living the lifestyle of your dreams, or the desire to, comes at a cost. And for me, that cost was my health. Let me explain. On my annual physical visit with my doctor, we did a whole bunch of blood tests. I went in to see him, and he was a little bit shocked. And to be very honest with you, I wasn't that shocked, because over the course of a number of years, I had gained a lot of weight. And not only did I gain a lot of weight, I was borderline diabetic. I was hypertensive. I had a fatty liver. And the doctor said that if I don't get my health in check, there was a good chance that I would start to formulate more diseases like heart disease, possibly have a heart attack. And more importantly, I wouldn't be able to really live the lifestyle of my dreams. On top of that, I had just come back from a ski trip with my 2 sons. And on the ski trip, about 10 o'clock in the morning, about an hour after we went skiing, I said to my 2 sons, who were about 12 and 13 at the time, I said to them, they're about 19 months apart, I said, hey, after the next ski run, I'm going to go into the house. And my youngest son, Noah, who was sitting next to me on the chairlift, said, Papa, he looked at me and says, Papa, how come you're always so tired? You promised us that on this trip, you would have fun with us on the ski hill. And here you are again going into the house. And at first, I looked at him and I was like, well, I'm tired, Noah. I said, I've been working hard. And he said, you're always tired, Dad. And that, it hit me really, really deeply. And so I said, hold on a second, son. I caught myself being angry. And I caught myself and I said to him, I said, sweetheart, hold on 1 second. I thought for about a minute. And first, I was aware that he was right. I was always tired. I was inflamed. I was overweight. I was out of shape. Even though I was successful in business and in my marriage and mostly as a dad, I was always tired and I couldn't do the things with them. So I looked at him. I said, sweetheart, I'm going to make you a promise. And he goes, what, Papa? I said, I promise you, you're 12 years old. I promise you that I'm going to get into the best shape of my adult life. And not only will I be able to ski with you and kick your ass, I'm going to get into shape and stay in shape so that I teach your children how to snowboard or ski. And he looked at me and he goes, Papa, are you serious? And I said, I promise. That was the beginning of my personal shift, because I was 243 pounds, 33% body fat, overweight, tired, exhausted. I had sleep apnea. I wasn't sleeping well. And everything in my health was moving on the wrong train, in the wrong direction, picking up speed. And I was 48. And so that moment I said, why is it that I go to the gym, I start to exercise, I go on diets, whether it was the intermittent fasting diet, which was new back then, whether it was the Atkins diet, whether it was the keto diet, I did them all. And you know what? I released, I don't call it lost, but I released 43 pounds of fat. And I got over a 2-year period of time into the best shape of my adult life. And the way that I did that was by understanding what caused me to gain and lose 10, 20, 30 pounds each time, and then gain it again. I'd lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it. For years, I lost over 250 pounds, just 10, 20, 30 pounds at a time. And nothing ever stuck. So as a behavioral neuroscience researcher and entrepreneur, I said, something must be going on in my brain that's causing this. I've used all of my brain training techniques, all right, to master my mindset and my emotions for business and money and fun and experiences. But here I was, okay, overweight, tired, exhausted all the time, whining and complaining and blaming everything other than me. So I got on this kick where I hired some of the best people in the world on the neuroscience and the neurobiology of weight release that is sustainable. So let me share with you what I've discovered. And before I do that, if you answer in the chat, that would be great so we can have a little bit of fun. But that's my personal journey, and I'll keep taking you through that. So is it possible, all right, that winning the game of weight loss, okay, has more to do with what's happening in your brain, okay, which governs your biology and everything else, than just diet or exercise? If you agree, just type in, yeah. It's possible that that is what we really need to focus on. So type yes in the chat right now if you agree. And I already see a bunch of people saying yes, 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 yes. Let me explain to you the neuromechanics. And before I explain to you the neuromechanics, are you ready to release the weight you want, whether it's 5 kilo or 10 kilo or 20 pounds, depending on where you are in the world, or 30 or 40 or 50 pounds? Are you ready to release it once and for all? And here's the question. Keep it off forever until you die, until they bury you. You can get into great shape and stay in great shape and have energy, vitality, and feel and look your best. You don't have to look in the mirror anymore and feel embarrassed. You don't have to look down and all you see is your belly. You don't have to feel, okay, like you're getting older and things are going downhill. You can actually get better as you age. And I know that not only to be true because I've done it, but I have helped thousands of people with what I'm about to teach you. So I see that many of you are with me and you are ready to reclaim your health, your energy, your vitality, and more importantly, the lifestyle that you want to live in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I want to ski with my children and grandchildren in my 70s, 80s, and 90s. I want to travel the world. What do you want to do? The more you type in the chat, the more I get excited sharing this with you. All right, so why is it that 95% of people who lose weight gain it back over and over again? Like, that is a ridiculous statistic, 95%. Now, this is what I looked like when I started the journey. On the left, I was about 225 pounds, which is still 20 pounds lighter than my all-time high of 243. That's my beautiful wife, Maria, who's 4'9", 90 pounds. On the right is what my face looked like. Look at the difference. That's 12 years ago versus right now. All right, so huge difference. That is me, size giant on the beach in Mexico. All right. So I'll share with you a little journey that I've been on. But the whole idea behind here is there are some factors that when you take those into consideration, they will allow you to release weight and keep it off, which is my goal for today. Now, there's 4 keys that I'm going to share with you. And when you understand these 4 keys, this is what separates those who release weight and gain it back over and over again, and those who release weight and keep it off. And the reason I use the word release, just so you know, is this. Weight, what is it? It's calories. What are calories? Energy. And guess what? When we eat, we're adding energy. When we release it, we're using energy. A simple mindset shift so that you don't lose weight only to go and find it. I like to release it and let somebody else use it who needs it, because I certainly don't need more weight on my body anymore. So let's talk about this. What causes yo-yo syndrome? What causes it? Why don't you put a comment in the chat? What do you think causes yo-yo syndrome? And I'll share with you what causes yo-yo syndrome, but please participate with me in the chat, all right? And, many of you are on the right track, but yo-yo syndrome is an effect, more of what's happening in here in your brain than anything else. And when we are talking about yo-yo syndrome, I want you to understand a couple of things. Number one, there's a huge difference between losing or releasing weight and releasing fat. 2 different systems in the brain and your biology are responsible for those things. Weight is made up of water, tissue, muscle, bone in some cases, right? And when most people go on a diet and they go, oh my God, look at the scale, I've lost 5 pounds. Most of it is water loss. And they think they're doing themselves a service, but they're not. They're actually working against their biology and neurology. And so when we think of fat is a very, very different focus than weight loss. Point number one. So what causes fat gain? What causes fat loss? Now, what most people think that it is, and according to a lot of nutrition experts, and I hired the best of the best. I spent over $15,000 with world-renowned experts on the neurology, biology, and chemistry of releasing weight and keeping it off. And most people think that fat gain is you take in more calories than you burn or consume. And they think that fat loss, is taking in fewer calories than you burn or burning those calories. So they think that calories in, calories out, that's what causes me to lose weight. And is that right? Well, let me give you some statistics. How many of you have seen the show on TV, The Biggest Loser, right? It's a group of people that are obese and they have trainers and nutritionists and all this stuff, and they show you their journey along their weight loss program. And everybody is blown away by how much weight they've lost through diet and exercise, right? But are you aware of this statistic? 95% of those people you see on TV that are working with exercise and fitness people regain the weight. Regain the weight back during the that they've lost during the show. So they are like at the highest level of commitment of diet and exercise, of watching what they eat and how much they eat and how much they expend, and 95% gain the weight back. Why? This is a thing that you need to understand, right? And here is the answer. There's something called metabolic adaptation. Let me explain. Many of you know, your brain was built basically in 3 stages. I'm going to simplify it. There's a concept called the triune brain. There is the instinctual brain, the emotional brain, and the logical brain. And what happens is when the instinctual and emotional brain, recognized that people were using more energy than they are used to, exercise, consuming less energy than they're used to, diet, their brain said, uh-oh, what's going on here? Are we going back to a starvation time, which in our DNA and in our cells, we remember those feast or famine moments. Remember, we are highly intelligent, and your DNA, your genetics, don't just, operate in today, but they have the cellular memory, okay, of feast or famine time. So when people use diet and exercise as their only strategy, all right, many of them follow into this metabolic adaptation, all right, and their metabolism actually slows down. So you think you're kicking up your metabolism, but there's a part of your brain, I'll show you in just a little bit, that overrides this fact. And you go, oh my God. So that's why I have these cravings. That's why I have these triggers. That's why it's easy for me to diet for a week or two, but then all of a sudden I eat like a bear. Yeah, that's why. That's why I start to rationalize and tell myself, well, I've been really good, for 3 days or 2 days or 5 days. And then I go to the fridge and I raid the fridge, or I stop my exercise program. Yeah, that's why. Is that why we start to rationalize, which means we tell ourselves, rationalize why we don't need to be as strict this weekend because there's this party? Yeah, that's why. So when we are focused on diet and exercise alone, the hypothalamus in our brain, there's a part of our brains, there's the hypothalamus, like the little brain, it interprets weight loss. You lose 1 pound or 1 kilo, 2 kilos, 3 kilos, 5 kilos. It actually represents in the brain as a threat. And when your brain perceives diet and exercise as a threat, what do you think it does to your diet and exercise program? It fights you. Your brain will fight you. So, does this make sense? How many of you are glad you're here right now? How many of you are glad you're here? If this makes sense, type in the chat right now, oh my God, that makes sense, or just this makes sense. So when you review the studies like I have, okay, the scientific studies on diet and weight loss, almost every diet and exercise program produces short-term weight loss, not fat loss, but weight loss from dieting or exercise. But these are not maintained. 2 years after a diet begins, 95% of people gain all the weight back they lost. And 3 years later, 41% gain more weight than when they started. Why? Because they haven't focused on recalibrating a couple of parts of the brain. So here's my question for you. Why go through the effort? Like, I was so sick and tired of doing another diet because I was not wanting to disappoint myself anymore. I didn't want to disappoint my wife anymore. I didn't even want to tell her that I'm going to try another diet. I'm going to do it again because I'd done it so many times, 10, 12 times between the age of 40 and 48. I promised vows of amendment. I won't eat, okay, the chocolate. I'm a sugar addict, by the way. I used to drink a bottle of wine a night. Okay, I haven't had alcohol since 2009, September of 2009. I'll share with you, what I did because I had to recalibrate my own mind. I used to eat desserts every night. I used to have a bottle of wine every single night. I gave up sugar. I gave up alcohol using the techniques I will show you today and the understanding I will show you today. So when we are talking about weight loss and fat loss, we have to focus on a couple things. When we get into this state of burning more calories than we consume, okay, it puts us into a fight against our own biology. And what I mean specifically, is this. All right, if you think about, and I'm not suggesting, how much you weigh, but when we focus on just calories in, calories out, we focus on diet and exercise, the metabolic slowdown starts and the fat starts to regain. And it's this vicious cycle that is what is at the cause of people's yo-yo dieting and losing weight and not keeping it off. And here's what I want to ask you is, if you're going to put in the effort, why not put in the effort that's going to last? Like, why do it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times? I personally was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So give me a second here. So there's two kinds of fat loss, right? There is short-term fat loss, and most fat loss diets and exercise work with short-term fat loss. So here's one of the decisions I want you to consider. When I did the research, there were 11,000 different papers on diet and exercise for weight loss. And there were thousands of books on the topic. And there was one common denominator between the programs that worked versus the programs that didn't. The programs that worked, okay, did not focus solely on the diet and exercise aspect. When they focused on the short-term fat loss or weight loss for a reason or a season, a reason, a wedding, a reason, a bachelorette party, a reason, a bachelor party, a reason, any type of reason, every diet worked. When they focused on a season, it's summertime, I want to look better in my summer clothes, or I want to fit into this dress, for this season, or this suit for a season, every single diet works. So if that's you, if you are interested in losing weight for a reason or a season, you can hang up right now, okay? Get off of this Zoom. You don't need anything else. Just keep doing what you're doing. However, if you are committed to releasing weight and keeping it off so you're healthier, happier, you feel good, maybe you even feel sexy and alive and energetic right now, then stick around, because what I'm about to share will transform your life for good. And I'm all about sustaining what you do. So here is something to consider: is what are the secrets that differentiates your dieters from those who achieve permanent fat loss? And I will share with you right now, right? Number one is you have to make a decision, if you're serious and committed, on what changes in your lifestyle, including, of course, a way of eating. I don't like to call it a diet. The first three letters of the word diet are what? Right? Die. And most people, go on a diet for a week or two or three or four or five or six or seven or eight. And then what do they do? Once they hit their target or close to their target, they stop the very things that got them there. So the number one focus has got to be around sustainability. Whatever changes I choose to make, pay close attention. Whatever changes I choose to make today to release the weight, to get healthier, happier, more energetic, etc., I have to be able to sustain it. Now, do you really want to go on the 700 calorie a day diet? No, it's not sustainable. So that's number one key. And I can't tell you what's right for you, but I can tell you there are several ways of eating that are perfect for each type of person that is sustainable. I'm talking about you being in the 5%, not you being in the 95%. So if you take a look at this graph right over here, in the top left, okay, this is where most overweight people around the world are. They have what is known as obesogenic habits and patterns. They have obesogenic habits around food, diet, exercise, nutrition, sleep, okay? They are focusing on many of the wrong elements, right? Where there is so much of their way of being is enriching, okay, their fat on their body, them being unhealthy. And those on the right, it's also effortless for them, but they have fat loss promoting habits. Now, let me ask you a question. If it's around habits, thought habits, emotional habits, behaviors, habits, right? Where is that in your brain, right? Where are your habits in your brain? And the answer is, there's a part of the brain called the striatum. And that striatum determines what you naturally do. So wouldn't it make sense, right, that if we want to release weight, keep it off, have more energy, vitality, we have to create over a period of time, not a short-term thinking, but a little bit longer-term thinking, to create new habits so that the habits then create you. When we're focusing on fat loss and fat use habits versus, you'll see in just a little bit, carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates and sugar use, we now are promoting the better use of fat for fuel, okay, and complex carbohydrates for fuel, in a pattern that will reinforce our vision and goals for our health. When we go on these crazy diets, the bottom right, okay, we are constantly suffering, right? We're doing diet and exercise, okay, to lose fat. We do intermittent fasting for short bursts of time to promote fat use, which is great, ketogenic diets, but it's not sustainable, right? And so when we are focusing on the bottom half and the top left portion of this graph, we will use or we will lose weight, no problem, but you will not sustain it. So that's what I'm going to ask you. Are you committed to releasing weight and then keeping it off? Type in the chat. Let me know, John, I'm committed to, because like I said, you are going to behave based on the habitual patterns you have. 95 to 98% of your thoughts and emotions and behaviors and habits are governed by your subconscious mind, right? Well, if you don't recalibrate, reshape, rescript your subconscious patterns, and you just use conscious willpower and goal setting and diets and exercises for short term, you will lose weight, but you're also going to be disappointed over and over and over and over again. And 45 out of 100 of you will actually gain more weight than you have right now. If that's okay with you, go ahead. But if you, like me, okay, want to release weight and keep it off, keep paying attention. So answer in the chat. Are you committed? Not interested, right? Interested is you do what's easy and convenient. Committed is when you do whatever it takes, right? So when you are focusing on releasing fat and keeping it off, all right, you have to focus on lifelong habits versus quick fixes. Lifelong habits that are sustainable versus a quick fix. Quick fix, like a miracle cure, a miracle diet, sure, it works, but it works on the wrong parts of your brain and biology. So you do not want to do this anymore. Stop the insanity, all right? And so then there's another part that almost nobody talks about. You certainly don't see it on TV. And that is around resetting your hidden self-image, okay, which I'll talk to you about in a moment, and resetting your fat set point. Let me explain the fat set point first. One of the things that we're discovering in the behavioral neuroscience and the neuropsychology research right now is that every one of us has not only a hidden self-image, right? But we also have fat set points. So our bodies over the last 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, we have got this setting inside our brain that calibrates how much fat, okay, we have within and on our body. So we have organ fat, fat around our organs. We have visceral fat. We have fat, that we can touch and feel and see. And our brain has this fat set point. And anytime we start using those fat stores, okay, that adaptive part of our brain kicks in and says, you're going to starve me. And that means that it is going to go into a metabolic slowdown. So I'm going to talk more about that in just a moment. But when we talk about self-image, there's a part of our brain called the parietal cortex. And the parietal cortex is the place where you and I have our self-image, how we see ourselves. And every day when you look in the mirror, every day when you get dressed, every day when you think about, how much weight you want to release and let go of, that you're overweight by 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 kilos or more, you're reinforcing a self-image, not only at the conscious level with your words and your emotions and your thoughts, but with a subconscious strengthening of that pattern. So here's what happens. And this has been proven in study after study after study. People, okay, will go on a diet and exercise. And then psychologists will work with them to have them look in the mirror as they're releasing weight. And you know what? The most amazing thing is happening in a lot of people's brains. They actually don't think they're losing weight, or when they think they're losing weight, okay, they then turn on this switch to stop doing what they were doing. Why? Because this part of our brain, the parietal lobe and this fat set point, are deeply connected, and it is triggering an overriding of your willpower switch to stay on the diet. So when we are focusing on releasing weight and keeping it off, there's a hidden internal body image and a self-perception, but there's also this expectancy of what our physique looks like. And our brain has got these neural patterns around our self-image. I was overweight for so long, I didn't see myself as overweight, even though technically I was obese. I had 33% body fat. So at 243, I just thought I was a big, strong, muscular guy. But the evidence thought otherwise. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So when we see ourselves as being 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 kilos overweight or pounds, it doesn't matter. Then when we release weight or lose weight with diet and exercise, our brain quickly wants to recalibrate to the hidden self-image to calibrate what's in the subconscious mind versus the conscious goal or desire to release the weight or go on a diet. So we have to create, all right, a conscious and subconscious coherence, okay, or match. Because if we don't have a match between our subconscious mind and our conscious goal or vision and desire for our body, our weight, our energy, our health, then we will be yo-yoing till the day we die. So listen, like I said, I invested $15,000 figuring this out with experts of what was the cause, all right? What was the cause of me yo-yo dieting? And there's something called automaticity. And this is your brains, my brains. Every brain works the same, by the way. It's something that our brain does. Remember, I shared with you that there's 3 parts of the brain. There's the autonomic part of the brain, the oldest part of the brain, the emotional part of the brain, and then the logical part of the brain, the triune brain. Well, there's a part of our brain that creates these patterns and creates these automatic triggers and behaviors. It's called automaticity. It's a way for our brain to automate what we eat, to automate our thoughts, to automate our emotions, to automate our habits. And when we automate habits, the habits then reinforce themselves without much energy. This is why it's so hard for most people, because they don't understand that they are fighting their biology and the mechanics of how their brain works. So when we are talking about, resetting your brain, right? The 4 keys are sustainability, quick fix versus lifelong habits, resetting your hidden self-image. And number 4 is going to be your eating patterns. Now, let me explain what this means. Is everybody has a way of eating. It doesn't matter if you're in the United States, in South Africa, in Australia, in the UK, and it doesn't matter where you are. We all have gotten our habitual way of eating. However, what most people don't know or focus on is there are certain foods that the food makers are fully aware of that cause severe addictions. Chocolate, ice cream, French fries, pizza, cookies, chips, and cake. And I'm looking over 2 screens right now. Now, flour, salt, sugar, and fat. Flour, salt, sugar, and fat, especially in those combinations, okay, create a highly addictive brain that wants to keep eating those things. And based on how the brain consumes calories or food, right, it's the autonomic nervous system that consumes the first calories to keep you alive. Your body functions alive. The next part is that emotional brain of ours, right? And when we are low on our in energy, our brain wants the food that tastes the best and will give us the quickest energy source. If you go back in time, right, to caveman days, they would pick and eat berries all the time. And they would pick and eat food that was easy to digest and easy to give them the mental focus and the energy that they needed. Well, our food system, you may have remembered the word that was used earlier, obesogenic society, obesogenic habits. Obesogenic habits just means that the food choices and most of our diets, okay, are geared towards keeping us fat. And our brain becomes addicted to these ways of eating and diets. And so, for example, I mentioned to you earlier, I was a sugar addict. Are you aware that sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine? Now, when you eat, okay, simple sugars, okay, whether it's a chocolate bar, whether it's soft drinks, your brain is getting that immediate sugar from refined sugar, which is different than sugar from, let's say, a banana or berries. But your brain becomes addicted to that particular type of food because it's getting one of its needs met, which is automatic, quick energy. Now, the good news is you feel good for about 15 minutes. But then because of the insulin spikes to make up for the extra sugar in the body, you go actually into a metabolic crash, and then you get tired. So I don't have time to go into all of this, but here's what happens. When we eat some of the foods that we eat, all right, that has a quick spike, okay, in the simple sugars, simple carbohydrates, simple sugars, refined sugars, there's an area of our brain called the ventral tegmental area and the nucleus accumbens, which releases the dopamine, the feel-good neurochemical. Well, who doesn't want to feel good? So when we're stressed out, we tend to have a lower willpower. We tend to eat more foods that release the dopamine. When we are not achieving our life's goals and dreams, when we have a fight with our spouse, our children are giving us, challenges, things aren't working out the way we want. Many people go for the foods that will actually cause them to feel better. So now that emotional part of the brain is getting these hits of feel good, feel good, feel good. And for some people, food is how they get love without being judged or blamed or ridiculed or embarrassed. So they use food as a comfort food to feel better. Why? Because this part of the brain lights up like a Christmas tree. But here is a problem. When we are stressed, when we are when we don't sleep well and our hormones haven't regulated well at nighttime, we actually will reduce, okay, or this part of the brain, the willpower part of the brain, okay, that we actually need to stay on our exercise, diet, and new life plan is very, 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 very low. And so there's a direct correlation between your diet, between stress, between your lifestyle, and you being able to release weight and keeping it off. Now, I hope you don't mind that I'm giving you the mechanics of why you may be yo-yo dieting, and I'll give you, how to do this. And so when you are not aware of these things, you're fighting, okay, billions of years of evolution, 200,000 years of, Homo sapien on planet Earth, the neuromechanics of getting healthy and staying healthy. And when your willpower reserves are low, the chances of you staying on a healthy lifestyle way of living with the right nutrition, food plan, with the right amount of exercise for you, with the right choices, when you're fighting your biology and neurology, it's a battle that, as you saw earlier, 95% of people will not win. So I want to give you the winning formula. Here are a couple of pictures. So on the far right was me at around 225 pounds. By the time I was 50, I got myself into fairly good shape, and that's my wife, Maria, upstairs on our deck. The picture on the left was just a couple of months ago in Mexico, and I not only released the weight for my birthday, I decided for my 60th birthday, I want to do something I've never done before, not at 16, not at 26, not at 36, 46, or 56. I wanted to have a six-pack for my 60th birthday. You remember I shared with you that I was a sugar addict? Well, the only thing that was holding me back was every night I had a great diet, no alcohol, great sleep, exercise, perfect food plan. But every night after dinner, about 2 hours after dinner, I would just have this insatiable craving for sugar. Remember I shared with you this sugar, all right, is like the nemesis of many of us. So I had to make a commitment. And so I said when I was 59, I said, okay, the next step, there's 2 steps I have to take. Obviously, I need to work on my abs and to strengthen them and to create some muscle. But 6-pack abs are not made by the gym or exercise. It's made in the kitchen. And so I knew that I was getting about 500-600 extra calories every single night. All right. And even though I was in great shape, I didn't have the abs I wanted. So I got myself into this plan to first and foremost stop sugar for 30 days, then 90 days. And then I continued for an entire year. So 1 whole year, I didn't have any sugar from my 59th birthday to my 60th birthday. And I used some of the techniques I'll show you in just a moment, all right, to stop my addiction to sugar. And just so you know, when I hit my 60th birthday, I just decided I don't need to have sugar, refined sugar anymore. And so I did this. This is my mother-in-law, my wife's mother, upstairs on the deck. This was a picture on my 60th birthday. I didn't have a 6-pack at 16, 26, 36, 46, but I got myself into the best shape of my adult life, which I still am in right now. How? By focusing on what was happening in my own brain. So here's my question for you. Not only have I done it for myself, but I've had thousands of people follow, the process of changing from the inside out. And my question for you, and give me a yes or no in the chat, right? Are you committed and are you ready to change from the inside out so that it's sustainable? Because if you are, then I have a couple of questions for you. This is a body fat spectrum, all right? And I was at the, at the 45% or 43% mark. And now I'm more between, I'm around 12% right now. And I'm actually going to go to about 10% because I've got another goal right now for my 61st birthday. But where are you right now? And where would you like to be, right? Let's start with a vision and a goals. And let me ask you a question. If I could help you get there, would you be willing to try something different and something new that is proven by science to work? And it's one of the only things that'll help you sustain weight release and get you to be healthier, happier, more vibrant, more energetic. And if you commit to doing this one time and following through and developing the habits that I'm going to share with you, then you can get better and better and better into your 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s and beyond. So type in the chat, okay, what body fat percent would you like as your next step? And you may not even know what body fat you are. So just, pick a picture, and say, I'd like to go from this to that, and type it into the chat. All right. And here's what I would like you to do. Let's activate the imagination center. And the imagination center is this. How will you feel when you release 10 or 20 or 30 pounds? Or, as I mentioned, I know there's an international crowd here, 10 or 20 or 30 kilos. And how will you feel knowing that it is sustainable? Imagine that for just a moment, all right? How will you feel yourself? Will you feel proud? Will you feel, amazing? Who else, by the way? This is something that I never thought would happen. Like, I never thought I would be here sharing stuff with anybody about my fat loss journey, releasing 43 pounds of fat. I never thought that this would, I'd take this turn, but because I've been a behavioral neuroscience researcher for 41 years and somebody who's committed to the best life possible, which is what I teach people how to do, how could I not share what I've discovered about the brain and the biology of fat loss and keeping it off with people who want to be healthier and happier, right? So how would you feel? And here's something that I didn't know. It's impacted my children. My wife, who just turned 50, is in the best shape of her adult life too now. I was in a restaurant the other night just down the street, and this guy, and everybody was wearing a mask because of COVID, in the general area of the restaurant. This guy taps me on the shoulder as I was sitting eating. And I looked up and I go, "Can I help you? Do I know you?" And he pulled his mask down. He said, "I just want to thank you." I said, "What for?" He said, "I saw one of your trainings, like the one that you're seeing right now." And he said, "I just loved what you said. I'm going to have a 6-pack at 70. I'm like, "Oh, wow. I didn't even, I don't know who you are." So you don't know who you're going to impact, but I can share with you something. The people around you may be skeptical because you've said this and done this before. But when they watch your commitment, when they watch the amount of willpower you have, when they watch how you're changing, not fast, slow and steady and sustained, they're going to go, "Wow. Maybe I can get healthier. Maybe I can be in better shape. Maybe I can, have, the life of my dreams," physically, of course. But I tell you one thing, when you feel great physically, don't you want to do more things? Aren't you inspired? Aren't the people around you inspired? I tell you, my wife and I started about 39 days ago, a 100-day plank challenge just for her and I. And we posted a couple of videos that she and I are just doing this. We started with 1 minute plank. After 2 weeks, we're at about a minute and a half. After 4 weeks, we're at 2 minutes. And today, we're still doing it. We did like 2 minutes and 15 seconds. We've done as much as 3 minutes. So small little behaviors over time become empowering, constructive, powerful habits. So if you're ready to feel sexier, more attractive, right? If you want more confidence, if you want to have even greater self-worth, if you want to look in the mirror in the morning, naked and say, "You're starting to look better. You're starting to feel better." Let me share something with you that many, many thousands of people have followed with me. All right. I created something called Winning the Game of Weight Loss. All right. And it includes a couple of different components to help you win the game of weight loss once and for all. And if I can, let me share this with you. Let me just get this thing on my screen right now, and I'll share with you what I did. All right. First and foremost, I wanted to create something that is prescription strength. So if a doctor had to prescribe it, which a doctor does not, this is what she or he would do. And let me share with you something. This is a chart, that we have our members just self-regulate and send us information, of what is the weight loss over a period of time while they're doing this program. And just so you know, we're focusing on fat loss versus weight loss. And this is a chart that we can stand behind. Now, some of the people here, that we charted over the course, of 3 months, all right, some of them released over 25 pounds of fat. And the way they did that was they had scales in their home that was able to tell them their weight and their fat loss percentage, and they tracked it. So we're focusing on fat loss, and sustainable fat loss. But the average person released 15 pounds of fat in 3 months. And since we're focusing on keeping it off, many of them went on to release 30, 40, 50 pounds of fat, and they still have kept it off today. So if you want to be a part of this, here is Martha. Before retraining my brain, I weighed 162 pounds and had been yo-yoing for the last couple of years. Today, I weighed in at 143 pounds. I have lost almost 20 pounds and 10 inches. And today gave away my size 14 jeans. I am now size 8. Tammy, I didn't even know there was something called circadian rhythm, which is something we will teach you about in the program. When I started the program, that was the first thing I fixed, and it had been life-changing. Honestly, my husband and I had to sleep in separate beds for 18 years. He now doesn't snore. He's gone from 210 to 175 pounds. Woohoo, grateful to be able to sleep in the same bed again. Jackie, hugest thanks, deepest gratitude, love to weighing a weight loss. Having done the program, I've been steadily losing weight because everything has changed. I don't binge, I don't crave, I don't even think about food much, except when I'm growing it in my garden. I am the healthiest and happiest I've been in years. Today, I am posting because I told myself when I get under 200 pounds, then I'm going to shout out. So I'm shouting. I did it. 89 pounds released. And now at 199 pounds, I am so happy. Glenn, well, I'm 1 pound from reaching my weight reduction goal of 215 pounds that I set 2 years ago from 275 pounds. I did this by only eating healthy foods and inner sizing, which I'll explain to you in a moment, period. I'm thrilled with my results. I literally have thousands of these, all right? Let me explain to you the program. You remember I shared with you that in order to win this weight loss game, you have to reprogram your subconscious mind and you have to recalibrate your weight and fat set point. You have to augment your self-image, change the self-image from the one that sees you overweight now to the image that you want. Well, many of you know I've created some of the most powerful brain training programs in the world for business and money, but I also now created the most powerful brain retraining program for fat loss and weight loss and recalibration. And this program comes with 12 different levels to retrain your brain. All you've got to do is put on your headphones and listen to the audios while you do other stuff, and it will automatically reset your fat set point through the inner sizes that I'll guide you through. It'll help you, okay, develop the awareness around the emotional triggers and the situational circumstances that cause you to binge eat or overeat or eat the wrong foods. It'll help you identify and control food addictions, and it'll help you make better eating decisions. Now, all of the inner sizes, each level comes with some video training too. So you watch the video training, you listen to your inner sizes, one level each week for 12 weeks. So level 1 for week 1, level 2, week 2, level 3, week 3. And we developed something called a stacking inner size effect using a variety of scientifically proven methods to retrain your brain. 20 minutes a day. While you're doing other stuff, I don't care. You don't even need to pay attention to them because it is geared for your subconscious mind where all of these patterns are. I worked with some of the top fat loss experts in the world, self-image experts in the world, emotional eating experts in the world, nutritionists in the world. Everybody that I hired initially for that 15 grand, I then hired them to help me design and develop this program so that I can create the most powerful brain retraining audios in the world with the videos to support them. And what will this do? This will help you create and reinforce new neural patterns, new self-image, new beliefs, new awareness, new control levels that you've never had before. How do we do it? Well, our brain training program uses a variety of scientifically proven methods, okay, to help you retrain your brain, to put you into more control so you don't have to rely only on willpower, but your subconscious habits will reinforce the patterns that you want. And what I can promise and guarantee you is you will once and for all, once you get started and keep going, you will once and for all win the battle of weight and fat loss. Now, the 12-week audio and brain training program, the value of that is $997, and you won't have to invest that today, but I'm not just going to leave you with that, because I also took these experts, J.J. Virgin, Ari Whitten, Mark Waldman, Mark David. I created a library of everything you need to know around diet, exercise, nutrition, sleep, circadian rhythm. There's an entire library of up-to-date, amazing information on what you should do, when you should do it, how you should do it for every type of situation. So it's not only about choosing the best food plan, Okay, people call it diets. That is sustainable. But it's how to set realistic goals, how to make sure you're using fat, okay, versus just losing water, and how to master your emotions, right? Because when we have addictions, when we have patterns, then guess what? Our brain wants to override what we do. So we will show you exactly how, okay, to manage your emotions. And the Weight and Fat Loss Success Library retails for $500, and there's multiple hours of programs in there. And so the value of that's $14.97. But we're also going to do this. Your environment, all right, plays a key part in your choices, right? In your energy level, in your decisions. So I'm also going to include a video training on how to master your environment so that it will support your choice to be healthier, happier, sexier, etc. So that's going to be one of the bonuses I include for those who act now and take action right now. I'll give you the link in just a moment. And that normally sells for $197. And I recently created 9 new inner sizes for you to be able to gain more awareness, focus, control of your emotions, for you to be able to see yourself achieving your health goals, but also your other life goals. I am going to give you those for free, okay? So you're not only going to get the 12 brain training audios and the videos that come with those for the Winning a Weight Loss program. I'll give you 9 extra audios, okay, that'll help you in every other area of your life. And those are $97. So this package so far is $1,791. And there's 2 more things I'm going to do for those of you that act right now. Ari Whitten is by far one of the leading nutrition, exercise, and energy experts in the world. He is part of this program. He was one of the people that I hired initially to help me. And if you want to hire him, he would cost you probably $1,000 an hour. You don't have to, because he's in the library, and he's also going to give you his PDF book, Forever Fat Loss. And then there's another gentleman by the name of Brian Allman, who's also in the program to train you. He is considered the doctor of last resort, where major corporations and associations hire him to work with the people who are having the hardest time releasing weight and keeping it off. He works with the Rolling Stones, just to give you an example. Well, he's given us his Keep It Off, Use the Power of Self-Hypnosis to Lose Weight Now ebook as well. I'm going to give that to you for those of you that act right now. So the total value is $1,848. And here we go. I'm also going to give you JJ Virgin's Sugar Impact Diet 2-week cookbook. And she is a New York Times best-selling author. Total value, $1,895. What do you think if we take off $895 and it's $1,000? Do you want the link now? How about $497 for the entire package? All right, now here is what I'm going to do. And I hope everybody clicks on the link right now. Ready? For the first 50 people, who click on the link right now, your total investment for the 12 levels of brain training audios to rescript, reshape, repattern your subconscious mind, the videos library, so you know exactly what to do, how to do it, all of the bonuses, the 9 other inner sizes, the ebooks, and JJ Virgin's cookbook, $197. First 50 people, here is the link. And let's put that link in the chat also. And here's what I can promise you as well. All right. Everything that I do comes with a full 30-day money-back guarantee. If this doesn't literally transform your life and your awareness and understanding, okay, of how to release weight and keep it off so you're healthier, happier, more vibrant, more energetic, you have 30 full days to go through the program. Let it work for you. Subconscious mind, okay, is going to get reprogrammed. So I know it's going to help you. You have nothing to risk. I'm taking all the risk. So all you need to do, click on the link, sign up right now, get started, and get into the best shape of your adult life. And if you don't want to do it for you, what about your spouse, your children? What about the older version of you Because here's the decision that you want to consider. You're on a train right now, and you're going in a certain direction with your health, with your weight, with your energy, with your vitality. Are you on the right train? Are you on the right track? Because if you're not on the right train, you're not on the right track, you can predict where you're going to be in 5 years or 10 years. And are you okay with being less energetic, having less energy, being more disappointed, wishing you would have taken action today? So click on the link. Let's get you started with this program right now. Let's get you feeling healthier, looking healthier, being in the best shape of your adult life. And let's make it effort less. Let's make it stress less. It doesn't mean that there isn't effort, but it means that you're going to be doing the right things from the inside out and the outside in, so that you release that 5 kilo, 10 kilo, 20, 30, or 40 kilos, and you keep it off and you enjoy the lifestyle that comes with it. And so will the members of your family and your friends. I cannot tell you how many of my friends and followers are now in the best shape of their life because they finally found the keys to sustainable weight loss and lifestyle changes versus going on a diet that they never stick to. All right. So with that, click on the link. First 50 people get this price. And then here's what I'm asking you. Would you do me a favor? Get started with the program and then send me an email, all right? Connect with me and my team and let me know how you're doing in the first week, in the first month, 2 months, 3 months, and send me a photo. I want to see photos when you are ready to share it with me, all right? All right, so with that said, now you understand how you could win the game of weight loss once and for all. And Saj, if we want to do some Q&As, I am ready for a few Q&As, and I hope that this was informative. We have, 10 minutes or 15 minutes where I can answer some Q&As, or 5 minutes, Saj. So let me know, did that give you an awareness of what's going on in your brain and how you can win the game of weight loss once and for all?
All right, guys, what an incredible session. Go ahead and put some love into the chat for John. I've got a question from Stacy saying, I keep hearing that I just need to cut carbs. I tried this, but it didn't work. What did I do wrong?
Tracy, well, first and foremost, it depends on what kind of carbs you need to cut. But it's more complex than just carbs, as I mentioned. We do need to understand that everybody has something called a base metabolic rate. All that means is that at rest, every human body, and it's different for everybody, needs a certain number of calories. That's part one. Part two, the type of calories that you put in, every bit of food that we put in gets converted, to something called glycogen. Glycogen just means it gets converted to energy. Now, there are 3 distinct areas of energy we're talking about. One is like simple sugars, easy to digest, easy to create that automatic fuel, but it's like gunpowder. So when you cut simple carbs, there's 2 different types of carbs, Stacy. There's simple and more complex. So a sweet potato is sweet, but because it has fiber, it actually burns a lot slower. So think of it a little bit differently, everyone. Think of your fireplace, or think of a fireplace. You use paper to get the fire going. You might use kindling wood to burn a little bit slower. And then, you have logs, bigger pieces of wood. We need a little bit of each one, all right? We need a little bit of each one. And I think, I was asked to put the slide back up, all right, of where you can order this. Does that make sense, Stacy? So when you simply say cut out carbs, I would say, yes, cut out simple carbs, but you need some more complex carbs because it burns slower, and that means you're going to have more sustained energy, but you don't want to eat too many of those because then you have a caloric surplus. Another one, Saj?
We've got Tim that says, I struggle with this because no one in my family is thin or fit. How much of a role does DNA and genetics play in this journey?
Great. So there's genetics, and then there's something called epigenetics. So let's say you have a genetic predisposition to being overweight, okay? And let's say the culture that you come from has a pattern of eating that may not be the healthiest, okay? Then not only do you have the genetic predisposition, but then you have an environment, okay, that you were born into that reinforce the very patterns, okay, for maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 generations. That's part one. Here is what all of the latest research shows, that epigenetics, meaning your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors will override an entire DNA predisposition code. So that means that you can start on this program, recalibrate, reshape, rescript your subconscious patterns, and you know what? You'll be able to finally break free and be the first person. It's no different, if people are born into an environment of poverty. It's no different if people are born into an environment of abuse. It's no different if people are born into an environment, okay, of poor eating habits and an environment of, of lack of money. The environment reinforces the DNA or the genetics that were there to begin with. But there's break-free individuals in every form of life, right? In every form of our society, I mean. And so even though you may have a genetic predisposition, your epigenetics is stronger than that. And here's what you need to do. Make a commitment that you're going to be the first to break away. And then use this program to be the leader, to show people what's possible when you commit to sustained behaviors and sustained results.
Incredible. Guys, you want to head over to realsummons.com/JAS. The link is in the chat. Head over there and claim this